Hello. Hello everyone. Oh no. Mike's gonna miss the opening. Oh well. Sorry, nothing I can do about that. How's everyone doing? I'll set up of 40 minutes. Oh, yeah. It could take set up of 40 minutes. Yeah. Weird to be streaming again on a Friday morning. Okay, it says my stream status is bad. Wow. That is not good. But it's going. Ooh, YouTube notifications are working. Good to see. So hello everyone. Hello Michael. Hello Rudy if you're still around. Hey Chris. Hello Rob. Alex. Dave. Mike. Station 240. Crazy Roops. Boy Scouts Club. That's cool. That's important. You should definitely go to that meeting. So I am in my shorts, my t-shirt, no shoes, with the air conditioning on. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be 38 degrees today. It was 36 here yesterday, and it was about 26 degrees overnight last night. It was a rather uncomfortable sleep. What? 480p? No. It could just be because it's not streaming properly. You don't believe I wear pants? But they're shorts. See? Shorts. Oh. Yeah, I'm not dropping any frames, but it says that my streaming is bad. Hopefully the internet will behave today. How are you, John? Good to have you here. Hello, Leo. It's a cat in the box. Andy Mouse is here. Electronic Smoke UK. Hello. That's a new face. Not that I can see the little icon from here. Maxine to R&D is here. The big reveal, yes. So is everyone getting 480p, are they? Oh. Hello, 83. And Christian. 40 degrees here yesterday. What? And I had to fix the aircon. Where are you? Station 240? I can't remember. Hello, Amos. Good morning. You made it. And my internet is working at the moment, maybe. It's... Oh, the stream's gone to okay now. Not good, just okay. Now I can choose 1080. Okay, yeah, there might have been just a problem with the start of the stream. I don't know. Thank you very much for the belated birthday wishes, Christian. I appreciate it. Hello, Gavin. Robson! Haven't seen Robson for a while. Oh, you're in Adelaide, Station 240. Who is Station 240? You have to reveal your real name. Do we chat on Twitter at all? I chat with a few people on Twitter from Adelaide. Hopefully the stream will come good. Let's have a look at what our speed disk says, shall we? Maybe it's the internet today. Not speed disk, speed test. Merry birthday, thank you. Let's have a look. I'm going to choose... Normally a good one is Melbourne Telstra. That's normally a bad connection for me. Let's have a look at how fast my internet is today. 37 ping, always terrible. Oh, downloads are a bit slow. Still okay. Thanks, Rob. Okay, now the upload. Please be above 5. Oh, there you go. Upload problems. Wow. David made it! Hello, David. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have some bad internet today, folks. Hopefully the stream will survive. I'm not going to restart my router, because that'll kill the stream, so... That's a bummer. No, it shouldn't be that low. Like any of my tests I've done in the past, I've got above 5. 5 to 10. They should be able to get 40. Yeah, there's obviously an issue, congestion out there. I mean, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the lowest latency. I'm on the ultra low, so it should be nice and quick. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys can get better than 720p. You're gonna need it, trust me. Well, some of you got 1080. Okay. Yes, David finally got the times right and made it. So I don't know why I'm drinking coffee this morning, because it's warm. But I need my coffee for today. Definitely, I need 3 coffees for today. So I know we're on a bit of time pressure today because John Parks is streaming in a couple of hours, and I don't want people to miss out on that because John's streams are awesome. Keep calm and carry on. Yeah. So what's in the box, folks? What's the time? 7:02. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes to wait for some more people to join, I think. Any stragglers? Got 43 people. Oh, now the stream says health is good. We're up to 1080p. So everyone should be able to get 1080p. Yeah, okay. Now the message is coming through. Okay. Don't know what's going on. Don't know. Yeah, you probably won't get more than 30. I'm only streaming at 30. I think that's the fastest I can stream. Okay, less talky, more open boxy. Yeah, I'm just waiting for more people. I started 5 minutes early, and it's only 3:07, and there's always stragglers. See? Torsten just turned up. Hello! And David just turned up, you see? They would have missed. They would have missed out. So, there's a few things in the box. I don't know how I'm going to... I've been trying to work out how I'm going to do this. So... Oh, see, now Andy's here. Internet's flaky. Oh, no. Okay, well... You snooze, you lose. Yes, that is true. That is very true. It says we got 46 people. Oh, that was peak concurrent. So, how am I going to do this? So, yeah, as I said, John Parks is streaming in a couple of hours. I don't know if I'm going to be finished in time. There's a lot to show you all. There's a lot to do. G'day, Berger. Alan made my first board. Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to see what it was. Well done, mate. Very exciting. Oh, Monday. That means you can't bring it on. Oh, no, hang on. You're interstate anyway, so you weren't going to be able to bring it on Sunday. Bummer. Bet me pizza turns up at the wrong moment. By the way, I'm just going to let everyone know now that I could get a courier deliver my laser cutter any moment today, so it could happen during my stream, and if that's the case, I might be gone for a good 10 or 15 minutes, because it's coming in a very big wooden box, so it might take some coordinating to get it in. Oh, hello, Chris. Wow, 2 streams in a row, Chris. Okay, so, I'm going to open it off. I'm going to yeah, because there's a lot of stuff in here. So, how am I going to do this? Where's my knife? So here's the first thing. What's on Sunday? On Sunday is the final workshop of the Shenzhen tour I went on. There's a big kind of like a presentation. It's Melbourne based, and so there's kind of like it's just a final workshop. It's a free event, and there's about 50 or 60 people going. So it should be cool. Okay, I've designed, let's open this up. What have I designed? I've designed a little, I have to zoom in. Da-da-da! That's all it is. Maybe all it is. What is this? What is this, you ask? Well, this... Can everyone see it? I can't get any closer. Maybe I can lift up and see if I can focus on that. It's a thing. What is this thing? This thing is... Can anyone guess? Yes, there's a 2104 on there. Not quite an SWDA programmer, but yeah, it's just a straight up USB to serial converter. So it's a little programmer board. It's quite small, as you can see. Maybe a little bit too small. Oh, focus. It might be a little bit too small. But yes, it's pretty much designed with ESP pinouts on the side. Where's my little tweezers? God, my hands are shaky. I'm a bit nervous. It's designed with pads and little tiny pins. They're 1.27 pitch pins and pads. There's a 2104 there. There's some caps, discharge resistor, and a USB port. Hello, Tim and Jose. So technically you could program an ESP8266 with it, or an ESP32, or it's a wigwam for a goose bridle. Hello, Gary. So the idea is, oh, hang on a second. Is that Brian Locke's pinout? No, I don't know what his pinout is. This is my pinout, or this, or there's nothing specific. Let's just focus. Okay, so the idea is I've got a whole bunch of pogo pins, different types, and I've got some more on the way because these are maybe a little bit too wide. Right, so the idea is that the pogo pins everyone with jumping the gun, and let's see if I can get a bit higher. It's gonna, wow, this should be cool. Okay, let me see. I should be able to, if I put this up on here, I'm able to get nice and close. Can I focus? That might be too high. Oh, got it. Kind of got it. Okay, so the idea is that the pogo pins lie like this. Yeah, it's not staying in focus. It might be too high. That's a bummer. Okay, anyway, so the pogo pins lie across here. As you can see, they're really close together. So I've got some thinner ones on the way. But you can use pogo pins. Come on, camera. You're better than this. I can use pogo pins, or I can get 1.27mm header pins. Right? So what I did... Okay, that's not working. Let's get rid of that. So I made myself a jig. But I only just opened this, so I have no idea if this is going to work. I actually made myself 2 jigs just in case. So here's a jig. And the idea is you put this in here. Does it fit? Please fit. Oh, it fits. Oh, it's a bit loose. Okay. The idea is you put that in there, and then you lay the pogo pins down like that. You can see they go into, the tips go in, and you can solder on the pogo pins. Now, who can tell me what the issue with this is? I'll just grab my coffee. Anyone? Wow, must be big latency, or everyone's gone to sleep already. Everyone's left the channel because they think this is all it is. You never know. Heat, yes. Well, so I printed this with PLA, so when I go and hot air this, these on, it's gonna potentially melt the PLA. It's also quite hard to tell if it's straight. Yes. Now, well, wow, it must have been a long latency then. Yes, it's going to potentially melt the PLA. And it's very hard to get the pins lined up perfectly. So the problem with this jig, or any jig, apart from the heat, is that my printer's got a 0.4mm nozzle, which means this is the thinnest. Like these little slots here are the thinnest I can make them. Which means I can't get the pogo pins to sit inside. I'd have to put a 0.2mm nozzle in. Or I need David Grantz's SLA printer. So I can't really solve this because I'm not changing the print head on my printer. So I can't really solve the slots, but I did this though instead. I'm going to try this. Here's another one. It's kind of the same. I might have... Yeah, it's kind of the same, except what I did is I made it twice as thick. What pin spacing is this and why? Well, you just have to keep watching. So what I did though is I printed another one that's twice as deep, which means I bought a CNC machine. No, the only big mechanical machine I bought is a laser cutter, which is coming today, I hope. So I printed another one that's twice as high, so I can put 2 boards in, right? And there's still little things at the end, but they're a bit shorter. So what I can do is I can push the pin in and push them all up to the edge. If I can get it in. Bit hard to see what I'm doing on camera. So I can get all the pins in. So that way I can hopefully solder them. So there's going to be... Let's just get this out and show you. Make the jig in 2 sections. One end holds the board. Stop short at the end and go melt it. Yeah, I need to keep the board still though. I thought about that, Azzy, but it's the board needs to be locked in place. It's going to be very hard to hold any of this in place. What I don't want to do is have to hold the board still while I'm holding the pogo pins. So you can see from the stencil that the pads are exposed on purpose. So the idea is that when I reflow the board, there'll actually be solder already on the pads. And then when I go to put these pogo pins on, I don't have to actually put solder on my iron. I'll be able to just heat up the ends and hopefully have the pogo pins stick. So this is extremely experimental. You could use a black plastic used for headers and glue it on to hold the pogos. I possibly could, but I need to be able to produce quite a few of these, not just one of them. I mean, right now this is just a prototype. But I need to be able to actually produce many of these. So any steps that I take to make these that are going to, you know, do a lot of manual labour to align stuff and everything is going to be problematic, possibly. I might just be able to put them down and put some blue tack on. I don't know, or even some tape. Who knows? So about the long latency. Anyway, so this is quite experimental. I'll see what happens. What if you make the pogo pins support with PCB material? Well, I could make another PCB that's designed for this to sit inside. I could potentially do that. There's lots of things I could do. Right now, I need to see if this concept's even going to work. So if I need to wreck a few of these or go through a few pogo pins to get one working fine to start with, that's okay, because that's just it's a proof of concept. So that's it, folks. Nah, that's not what was in the box. Well, it was in the box, but that's not all that was in the box. Why do I need one of these? Well, that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked. I wasn't going to use hot air. I was going to use a soldering iron. But that's right. The soldering iron, there's already going to be solder on the pads because of the reflow. So that's going to, the idea is that'll make it easier to do it. Hot air is just, even at low speeds, it's going to push the pogo pins around. Anyway, we might get time to see today how easy it is to make one of these. And if I end up melting one of these PLA things, I melt a PLA thing. Whatever. I'll work it out. So, what am I going to use this programmer for? I hear you all ask. So, here we go. Now, this is going to be an interesting thing, okay? So I've not made one of these, absolutely, but I have looked at it already, and I've had to look at it. So this is completely experimental. Completely experimental on many levels, and let me explain. What I want to do... Thanks, Chris. Came in a bit late, but yes, got the question in. Woohoo! So, what I've designed is experimental, and the process to make them is a first for JLC PCB with some brand new equipment. So that's experimental. And it mostly worked. Station 240. It mostly worked, but it has some problems. But I should be able to build a working prototype out of this. And from this, JLC PCB learned how to improve their process to not have it happen again. So I paid for all this, but I got my money back. because we knew it was going to be an experiment, and if it worked, I pay for it, and if it didn't work, I don't pay for it. Well, it kind of worked, but kind of didn't. Is everyone clear on that? So you'll get to see what I'm talking about in a moment. And I'm going to have to move over to the microscope soon, and you'll get a better look. But here we go. You ready, everyone? Dun, 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 dun. Introducing the Tiny Pico Rev 6. Nah, already got one of those. Introducing the Tiny Pico Nano. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just going to let that sink in. I'm just going to have a coffee. Just when you thought it was safe to go out. Actually, I need to do something. I need to get something. Won't be a second. Just letting the chat come in. But why? Oh, but why? Well, why not is the question. So just for some clarity, okay? This is an ESP8266. Yeah? .4 by 2 centimeters, Chris. And this is an ESP32 room. And can everyone read this little word here? Can everyone read that? What does that say? I wish I could get closer. Hey Neffers, that's okay, I'm still revealing. Can everyone read what that says? Yes, it says RAM. I don't think anyone's quite grasped this yet, just to be clear. It's like some men trying to suggest something by driving a big car. So what is this, a new D1 Mini with ESP30? It would be cool if it was the same pinout as the ESP12. No, it wouldn't. You don't want it to be the same pinout at all as the ESP12 because it's not an ESP8266. It's nothing like it. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's a Pico D4, so it's a full ESP32 with antenna, with RAM, which makes it a rover. I don't have a rover on me, but you all know how big a rover is, right? A rover is actually bigger than my Tiny Pico. Just for clarity. A rover is bigger than this. Yeah? So it's got all that on it. But here's the kicker. You ready? Well, there's two kickers. Firstly, yes, it's a module. It's got castellated edges on the sides. So you can use it as a module. But it's got full power circuitry on it. There's a 3.3 volt regulator on here. Plus a Schottky diode. And a battery pin. There's no charge circuitry, but there's a battery pin. There's a 3.3 volt pin that you can power it and bypass the voltage regulator. And a 5 volt input. What does that mean? That means this is a fully standalone microcontroller. This is all you need. Obviously you need to program it, which is what these headers on this side is for. There are matching, not sure if you can even see, let's see if we can get closer. Let's see if we can focus on that. There are matching pins, both 1.27mm pins on the side, as well as castellated edges. I don't want to put charged circuitry on it, Azzy. That's what this is for. That's what my Tiny Pico is for. This board, this focus thing is just a nightmare. So this board is a fully standalone microcontroller. You do not need anything else. Technically, once you've programmed it, you set it up for over the air, and then that's it. You don't even need a programmer anymore. But of course, there's a programmer that lets you program it. So all of the auto programming circuitry is on the programmer, but you could technically put this on a board and use it as the microcontroller for another board. You can use the 3.3 volt regulator on here to power the rest of your board, but it's got 5 volts in as well. It's a fully standalone microcontroller. It's not a module like these. These cannot be used without voltage regulators and programmers and all sorts of other stuff. Exactly the same way. This can. It's fully standalone. How cool is that? And it is tiny. It's 1.4 by... It's 20 point something, or it might actually be 21 now. I don't know. I had to play around with the size a little bit. I could probably squeeze it a bit more. So now to answer everyone's questions, because everyone's asking, well not really, is so what's the big deal with this whole experiment with JLC PCB? Well, you'll be able to see better. Hello, David. Chris and his BGA. So here's the thing. JLC PCB only started offering castellations at this size last week. They have a brand new machine, a brand new process, and I'm pretty sure my boards were the first boards to go through their process, and there was a human error in the process, and my castellations aren't quite great. Still 2 layers. Now this is 4 layers. So is this. Both my Picos are 4 layer. There's no way you can do 2 layers on this. There's no way you can do 2 layers on this. My Tiny Pico moved to 4 layers at Rev 3, and this is obviously 4 layers. So when I get to the microscope, you'll see that there's some problems with the castellated edges. Now they can be cleaned. You might even be able to see here slightly. Let me see how close I can get. I'll do my best to show you, but it might not work. Yeah, no. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. It's too small. Sorry. I'll get to the microscope in a second and we'll have a look properly. But so what happens is there's some burring of the some copper along the edges, and there's also some tin, some white little tin stuff deposits left inside the castellations. Now they can be cleaned out. And technically I should end up with a board that's usable, but it's not the correct final finish of the castellations. So there's a downside to this, and that is that JLC PCB had this new castellation machine to be able to do these little tiny castellations. The bad news is they charge for it, and it's expensive. I'm telling you all straight up now. The cost for me to castellate this board on 3 sides, just the castellation cost, was more than the board cost. It was about $50 to castellate 10 boards. Expensive. Yes. So when can you buy one on Tindy? I haven't even built one. I don't even know if it works yet. Amos, but thanks. Thanks for the encouragement. So, I know there are other PCB manufacturers that offer castellation for free, or actually they don't offer it for free. PCBWay charge for castellation, and they're a little bit cheaper for their castellation, but their 4-layer boards are 3 times the price. So JLC PCB is still the cheapest alternative for these, and I've been chatting a lot with them over the last day about the quality of the castellation, and they've worked out what the problem was, and they're pretty sure that the next run will be good, and they've even offered to do my next run for free, just as a proof of concept, which is good. So the question is, will the board work? So I'm going to populate this board in a minute, and I'm going to have to populate one of these, because if I don't populate one of these, I can't program this. and therefore we can't tell if it works or not. So I need to solve both of these today on the stream. Otherwise we don't know if this is a success or not. So what do you reckon? Should we get started? There's a lot of work to do. I haven't even opened up my stencils. I haven't even set anything up. Oh, another thing. I made these 1mm thick instead of the usual 1.6. They're a bit thinner, which means it's going to be hard for me to set up a stencil for them. What I should have done is 3D printed a jig 1mm high for this, but I didn't have time. So I'm going to somehow have to work out how to stencil this without it moving around. I might have to tape it down in the corners somehow. Hello, Yuri. So, I think we should get started. What do you think? We have some work to do. Yeah, so the cost is the same whether you do 10 or do 100. So the cost overall will improve as I do higher numbers. But obviously I need to do higher numbers. So these boards, just to get 10 of them and 10 of these, was about 110 Australian dollars. That was a lot of money. But as I said, I've got a refund on the boards because there was a problem with them, which is great. So that was a risk I was prepared to take. Thanks, Chris. There's no progress without trial and error. We haven't even discussed why I wanted to make one yet, have we? I think it's pretty obvious. One, there was the challenge of making one, designing one. Two, so the Tiny Pico is very clearly aimed as a prototyping. What do I call this little guy? This guy is called the Tiny Pico Nano. So we've got the Tiny Pico Nano, and there might be another one in the family. I'm not going to say anything yet. There's definitely another design that's in the process. The idea for me was to make 3 boards in the family, because I believe there are 3 very clear marketplaces for these that don't overlap a lot. The Tiny Pico is very clearly designed for the prototyping space. You know, it's got breadboard headers, 0.1 inch or 2.54mm headers. It's, yeah, as I said, designed to be breadboard compatible, which means that it's not overly useful for non-breadboarding type projects, maybe, I don't know. It's got onboard USB, which is great for prototyping, but when you go into production, you don't need onboard USB. You know, it's kind of like a program once and then forget it, or it's a program once, go over the air, and then there's a whole bunch of circuitry on here that you don't need anymore. And having the RAM on the bottom and the JST connector on the bottom also means that it's, you know, gets a bit of height. So this is the kind of board that would never go into production, which is fine. It's not designed to be in production at all. It's definitely designed to be a prototyping board. This is designed to be a board that can go into production. Production meaning a board that you can use in your projects, or you can stick on other projects for commercial use. So my plan is, assuming that this even works, is if I do ever go into production of this, I will most likely go through certification and get this certified, so it can be used anywhere. Oh, I missed a whole lot of chat. The Tiny Pico Nano, well, your board name is almost as big as the board. Yes, it is. It's Nano because of the castellated package. Well, it's Nano because it's tiny. Tiny Pico Nano Femto. No, I'm not going to use the word Femto, I don't think. I think that's reserved for Julian. Tiny Pico Max. Oh, interesting name. Any tool to penalize an eagle. Yeah, you can. Hello, Carlos. You can penalize an eagle. There is a tool to do that. Gonna wait for the mega. Yeah, only ever market when selling. True. Well, I've got to start somewhere. I can't sell unless I make, right? Tiny Pico, tiniest Pico. Femto is after Pico, sure, but yeah, I think Julian's. That's a Julian thing, the Femto. I don't think I'm going to be going any. Well, no. But it's not. The idea is not to be Pico Femto. I like Nano anyway. Yeah, I'm going to make one that's 0x0. Hello, Stephen. Wow, lots of faces in here I haven't seen in a while. Or even new faces, which is awesome. Okay, I'm going to get the microscope out. It's going to take me a moment, folks. I need to disconnect this camera, take it off the bench, move it around. Let's do this, shall we? Let me get my coffee out the way so I don't spill it. Okay, I'm going to turn off the... Okay, I'm going to go to... What do I go to? Where shall we go? I'm just going to go... Everyone, don't freak out. You ready? Don't freak out. Ah! Okay, just while I unplug the camera. Can everyone hear me now? I might have a problem with my audio because I normally use the audio through my main camera, and because I'm not using this camera now, my audio is going to change. It's coming through my webcam. I apologise now if the audio has gone a bit crappy. Bear with me a moment. So I have tried getting both my microscope and my camera plugged in at the same time, but I can't find a switch box that works, which is really annoying. Dun, dun, dun. Comes the microscope. I'm going to absolutely need the microscope for this. Audio's fine? Okay, cool. Yay. I mean, it won't be as nice because the microphone's all the way over there now. Bit fuzzy. Okay, sorry. Now, the question's going to be... You might just see a black screen now because my microscope may not work yet. Okay. So, here we go. Let's cross our fingers that the microscope works. Okay, one plugged in. Come on. No. Yes. No, not yet. It will work. I've had it working before. Oh! Yay! Wow. Okay. This is going to be interesting. So I'm pretty unhappy with the diffusing on... Everyone hear me okay? With the diffusing on the... I guess it's not really a diffusing issue. On the LED ring here. It's just that everything's so shiny, right? It just reflects the light. First time catching me live. Cool, awesome. Oh no, 4:30 in the morning. Stephen AU got up at 4:30 in the morning to watch my stream. You are nuts, and thank you. You deserve a gold star. Definitely a gold star. So for being a bit off topic, but do you have plans to use the little camera devices from your last stream on your microscope? You mean the OpenMV camera or the other ESP32 one? The OpenMV one's obviously designed for machine learning, so it's not really, I guess, I don't know. But the other one, potentially I could, I don't know. I don't even know what I can do with it yet. Can you turn it up? That's as high as I can get the mic volume. I apologise if it's gone too low. Maybe, can I boost it? Hang on. Maybe I can... Advanced properties. Can I go higher than 100? I can, maybe. Okay. How's this? Is that better? It's an extra 10%. So we can get up to 3 decibels higher. How's that? Is that better? Are there more things in the box? No, well, no. That's it. Just the 2 things. Is that not good enough? Did that help at all, David, with the audio? It might just. Okay. You went to 11. What does 11 mean? I don't know what 11 means. If that's too much, just let me know. If it starts peaking, I can pull it back a fraction. Okay. So let's have a look at this burring issue. So you can see, let me just focus. There we go. Microscope for the win. Okay, can you see the burring? So when they were milling and stuff, they ripped the, see that right there? It's just hanging off. They caused some damage to it. Louder, thanks. You want it louder? I don't want to take it any louder than that. It's already 3 decibels above. Like I'm just under the clipping mark. Maybe. Oh, maybe not. Hang on. I guess I'm sitting further away. I'm going to spend my whole... I've seen Spinal Tap. I have. How's that? Really want to be careful that I don't just blow it out of the water. I hope that's better. Oh, thanks for making it louder. Whoops. Sorry, Paul. Okay, anyway. So you can see there's some issues. And you see all this white stuff? So that's tin. That hasn't been cleaned properly. This is all a human error, apparently, I've been told. So it can come out. It's just hard to get it out. How do I get this in focus while I'm doing it? There's a very short focal window on my camera, on my microscope. So I can pick it out. It's quite hard. And I can get rid of the copper. It takes a bit of work to clean. You can see the gunk coming out here. So this was the problem with this run. JLC are very confident that they fixed this issue, so it won't happen again. They say it was a human error, a misunderstanding on the production line. I asked the question, why wasn't it manually checked afterwards? And they said it was manually checked after the castellation. It was fine. It was the milling, the final milling, that was the problem. So as you can see, I need to clean this properly with some IPA. It's pretty messy. Definitely not production ready. They agree that it was a pretty bad job, but of course they straight away refunded my money and have offered me free boards next time round to make sure that I'm happy with the result before I go into a proper production. So that's pretty good of them. And I knew that it was a brand new machine and it was pretty much not experimental, but you know, like I'm pushing the limits on castellation. This is 4 layers. Hey Tabletronics, it's a 4-layer board. I'm not prepared to go bigger than 4 layers yet. So, we should build one. And to build one, I need to stencil one. And to stencil one, I need to work out how I'm going to stencil it, because it's only 1 mil thick, as I mentioned, for those that missed it. So, I've got 2 things to stencil. I've got this, and I've got the programmer to stencil. Look, I can't even fit them both in the camera view. So you can see there's a bit of a, well, you can't really see from that angle, there's a height difference. I need to somehow keep this still. So I've got some tape and some scissors. Let's do this, if I can. I'll see if I can tape it to the table and just do a really quick, crappy pass at stenciling it. Double up the boards in the stencil for extra thickness, maybe. Well, no, it needs to be, either way I need it to be 1 mil around, right? Like in terms of height. Help to bead the tin back on the surface. I don't know what'll happen with the edges, Neffers. I don't know what'll happen when I hot air it. Oops. When I hot air it, I don't know. So I'm just gonna see if I can hold this still. I don't really have a lot of space on this. So the good news is the castellated edges aren't on the stencil, which is correct. They got that bit right, which is good. But there are other bits that are, so I just need to, that might work. Yeah, I was going to use my other boards as a frame as well, but, and I might do that, if I can find where I put them. Here they are. But I needed to stick this down first, and I'll just put some other ones around it, I think, just to potentially hold the stencil high. If I can, we'll see. Thing really, man, this thing really lives up to its name. Breakout board with a footprint to mount this on a new one too. So I have one designed, but I did not order it. No, not yet. Because right now it's just a breakout board that exposes the pins, and which basically just gives me a tiny pico, right? So I wanted to work out what I was going to, like I wanted to make a proper demo example for this to go onto, not just a breakout board that did nothing. Does that make sense, John? So yeah, like, I don't mind throwing money at PCBs, as you all know, but to actually get a PCB made just for the sake of having a footprint is a bit silly. So I'm not going to do that for now, not yet. But obviously I'll make a public, well, everything will be public with this eventually, but you know, there'll be a footprint that people can use if they want to break it out. Is this called half hole? Well, it's castellated edges. Yeah, it's basically, let me just get this the right way around. It's not too bad, but I just don't know how. You know what? I might just see if I'll rep one or not. Hopefully I haven't missed. I thought it was 8. What? If I missed anything, got to stick a camera con on there. What are we talking about? Wait. That antenna is going to be very close to the chip. Time to test the black art of RF again. Yeah, it can be that close to the chip. Well, it can be that close to other things. To the chip specifically, who knows? We'll find out soon enough. I'm gonna just try to tape this a little bit, if I can. I mean, you guys wanted live. This is live. It doesn't get much more full-on live than this. Okay, I reckon that's good enough. I can do that. Can I do that? I can do that. We're going to do this. And if I wreck it, I wreck it. The problem is I'm not even going to be able to test it until... Who cares how much paste I use? I've got paste coming out of my... everywhere. Okay. Probably not the best stenciling I've ever done. Please don't stick to it. Good. Yeah, that's not fantastic at all. There's definitely some pins on the Pico that didn't get hit. I don't recommend doing this at home, folks. Okay, well, next big investment is better camera equipment and maybe a pair of new eyes for Sion if it gets smaller and smaller. You gotta go, Tabletronics? Okay, catch ya. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. I think I've got one. The question is, can I get it back off the table? It's not the best pasting work I've ever done, but I think it's going to be good enough. But we'll find out shortly. Just need to get all the rest of this stuff off, wipe off and start again. Nah. Missing some pasting at the top. No, it's all on there. I think it's going to be okay. I've seen worse pasting. I've done worse pasting. Oh, those top pins. Yeah, okay. Damn. Didn't see those. From this angle, I can't see. Okay. Maybe we'll start again. Or maybe I can just add a bit more. There's a tiny bit of paste on there, but yeah, maybe not enough. Okay, I'm going to put this one aside. You can always go back to it. Brain fart. I wonder, instead of making castellated edges, you could bunch 3 through holes and then route. I don't understand what you mean, Neffers. Yeah. I'm gonna do that again, I think. As I said, I should have just printed something to hold it in. Would have been easier, I think. Okay, let's go again. Hang on, if I get that in the middle, so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I would have had this all sold had I pre-made a board, but you guys don't want me to pre-make a board, do you? You want to see it live. You want to see the disaster happen live, right? Well, this is it. Doesn't get more disastrous than this. Okay. Just going to clean off the board, the stencil. 1 second. Get some IPA. And get my brush if I can find it and give it a good... Where's my brush gone? Oh, there it is. I have a special brush I use just for the fine pitch. Just horsehair. Okay, that looks good. Hello, Paul. Okay, let's try that again. So, let's make sure it's the right way around. Ah, I need to tape it down. Again. This other bit of tape. Love is better, Michael? Yes, live is better. Live is good. I don't mind live, as long as you don't mind. Because, you know, it might take a few shots to get this right. It's not quite straight in the camera, sorry folks, but it'll have to do. I just want to get it stenciled. Wow, tiny movements. I think that might do. Damn autocrat. Yes, the antenna trace is tiny. I did a complete, obviously, a redesign. Okay, let's try this again. Wow, I just had the end on the, wonder why it wasn't coming out. Okay, here we go. Right, I gotta be careful how I push down, because it's buckling the board, buckling the stencil. Okay, that looks like it's got it all. Okay. Every pad, every pin, again, a bit messy up at the top. That should reflow fine. As long as every pad has got something on it. The ones in the bottom left have a little bit, not a lot, but it's definitely better. It's going to be good enough. We're going to do it. We're going to do this one. Let's move this out of the way. I've not even got any of my parts out that I need. Nothing. Oh, I lied. I've got an antenna. I'll pull the antenna out. Good luck. Thanks. The biggest problem with this is going to be I like being able to test it. You know, it's not like I can plug it in and check the serial output to see if it's working. I'll be able to check the power, but I'm not going to be able to check whether it's actually doing anything properly until I've got this serial programmer working. Okay. I need to clean up some of this. Just bear with me, folks. Live. It's live. Need a Pico. Okay, so I'm just pulling out parts right now. So it's pretty boring, I know, I apologize. But I didn't pull out any parts to start with. Okay. An LDO. Oh, I need to turn the air conditioning off in a second. I think it's getting a bit cold in here. Actually, what I should do is just while I'm preparing everything, I'll just give you all a look at the board. Here you go. Get to see it in all its glory. Okay, I need some PS RAM. Yeah, the antenna is massive compared to the size of the board. It's pretty crazy. There's obviously no APA on here. It's not really needed. I'm going to need that at some point. Okay, I'm turning my air conditioning off. I'm starting to shiver. And my coffee's going cold. Hello, Brian. Yes, it's a mighty small board. So it was 20 mil, but I had to make it a little bit longer because I wanted to include castellated edges for the programmer just here, as well as 1.27 mil pitch headers, just in case I needed to fall back to the headers. But if the castellation works and stuff, I can probably pull that back a little bit, maybe, or maybe I won't. Like, it's small enough. Okay, so there's obviously a whole bunch of caps and stuff I'm going to need, which I'll get to afterwards, and resistors and stuff. But for now, we can. Oh, I need a little MOSFET. What about a version without PS RAM? Well, the tiny Pico has a version without PS RAM. As in, you don't have to put the PS RAM on the bottom if you don't want to. So that's, I guess, technically already done. I mean, you don't have to put the PS RAM on this one, but why would you not want the PS RAM? I guess, I don't know. I mean, it's one of its differentiating things. Like, if you're not going to put the PS RAM on this, then you might as well just use a Room 32. I guess. I don't know. Well, let me switch back now that you've all seen that. Okay. And now okay. So I have to check my phone because I'm expecting that courier to come. Okay, I'm trying to think what else do I need to get out now. The rest is just passives, I'm pretty sure. It might be some 0603 ones. Okay, so we should start putting this together, I think. I don't particularly know what order I'm going to do this in though. I might start off with always with the MOSFET, because it's always the hardest for me to place because I can't see properly. So I've kept the MOSFET on here because you can see how little the MOSFET is, right? Oh, okay, so I'm out of focus completely. 1 second. Okay. So I've kept the MOSFET on here purely for those people that want to... Okay, when I'm looking at the camera. I've got shaky hands. So what is it? Oh my gosh. I've got very shaky hands right now because I'm very nervous. Very nervous. God, that is terrible pasting. Really bad. But it should clean itself up. I need 100. K resistor. Just at me if you need something specific, because obviously I am a little bit preoccupied with not losing all of these little tiny parts. And by the way, for those of you that want to know, this turntable is fantastic. I mean, it's not perfect, but it really has made a world of difference. Is that in focus, folks? Not really. No one told me. Is that a bit better for you? Wow, I am shaking like crazy. Whew. Really, really shaking like crazy. Why do I feel like I've left off a resistor? A capacitor. I feel like I've left off a capacitor off this board. Oh no, I haven't. I just put the one on the wrong spot. Did I just put that on the wrong spot? Yeah, I did. Okay. Wow. She goes there. Biasing resistor. Okay, it's going to be one of those days, folks. I'll just... Okay, I just dropped a capacitor and I can't see where it went. Oh, there it is. God, these are tiny. What am I even thinking working at this size? I just don't know. No, where's the other capacitor that I dropped? Okay, I've lost a capacitor. Damn. Let's get another one out. Is everyone enjoying this? Can't say I'm enjoying it right now. Building electronics is supposed to be relaxing, isn't it? Lost a cap. Better take another trip to China to stop back up. Haha. Yeah, I got that wrong too. Wow, I'm really not doing a good job right now. I'm really not doing a good job. I can't see the pads. I really can't see what I'm doing. I need a 10K. And I need another, it's a 10, a 0.1. Oh, nice and close these are. Put a clean PCB next to it. Yeah, I should. I'm honestly feeling, so I've been up since 4 today, and I was up since 3 yesterday. So I'm just feeling a bit shaky and tired, but excited. Oh, come on. The spludge of the paste everywhere. It'll clean itself up, I'm pretty confident, but it just looks terrible. And yeah. Come on, 10K. Just want to get these out of the way so I can get the LDO on. Come on. Get off. Get off my tweezers. Okay, I'm gonna knock them all again now. Sorry, I'm just trying to... God, that cap is just really annoying me. I wouldn't dream of attempting stuff like this on my best day. Well, I definitely don't feel like this is my best day today, let me tell you. Did I really just leave them out? I think they're my 1 microfarad caps. I hope these are my 1 microfarad caps, because if they're not... Wow, okay. We're getting there. Get the LDO on now. If I can turn it over. Okay. This is going to be fun. You have to squeeze it in between. Good enough. Okay. Let's get this shot key on. Probably do that from the other angle. Look at that. Just turn it around. It's nice. Where's the line? Good. Should have put that little cap on first. Have sacrificed anything major in terms of pins broken out? No, I got everything broken out, which is great. I mean, I've taken a few things off. So for instance, the stuff that checked the voltage and charge state of the battery isn't on there because there's no battery directly connected to it. I exposed pin 13, which isn't exposed on the Tiny Pico because that's using that's driving the APA 102. I need more caffeine. Okay, I'm pretty sure, is that a cap? 10 nanofarad. I don't even need that cap. I'm going to leave the cap next to the the tiny Pico, the PS RAM out, which is this little one next to the Schottky, just there. I don't need that. I can always put it on later. I have this is a 10K, I believe. Yeah, we've got a 10K over here, and I'll get the RAM on. Another 10K. Pretty much all of the work I did on my tiny Pico got me to the point of being able to do this, like in terms everything, right? Skill and confidence, the 4 layers and all that stuff it's all part of the journey. I never could have undertaken this ever had I not gone through the whole process with my tiny Pico, the original, that is. Okay, I need a 2K. Come on, 2K. It's for the so this does have an LED on it, a power LED, so that should at least tell me it's powering up okay. And that, just like my tiny Pico, will be bypassed if you don't run it off 5 volts. So only 5 volts will trigger the power for the USB, for the LED. So it's got the same power path, which is kind of important, I think. Because just because it's designed to be a kind of like a modular type version of a microcontroller, although it's fully standalone, it doesn't mean you shouldn't sacrifice good power management. That's what I believe anyway, but what would I know? It's not like I've sold one of them to anyone. Okay, ground. Is it that way? Pretty sure this is the right way. Hope it's the right way. Wait, where's the ground? Okay, I need to check this one. It's one of those ones that aren't marked properly. Okay, I want ground to be, I'll just move this over so you can see. I want ground to be this way. No, would have put that on backwards, I think. Yeah, would have gone on backwards. Excellent, glad I checked it. Wait, which way did I just do it? No, that actually would have been on correct. That is correct. Wow. Sorry, back in the middle. Okay, this LED is right on the edge. A bit worried about position. But this is only a first revision. I'm pretty sure this won't go to 5 revisions. Was that Station 240 that made the comment? I don't think this will go to 5 revisions because all the hard work was done on the tiny Pico. Okay, jump back in time again. Thanks very much, Mike. Okay, so I need a 10 microfarad 0603. So I've probably gone overboard with some decoupling on here. Like, you know, I guess if you're using this as a module on a board, you wouldn't need some of this decoupling. But as I said, the idea is you can make this fully standalone. So now the problem with fully standalone is I guess it's kind of hard to solder stuff to the pads on the sides, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if this is even a viable product, right? Like, I really don't know. There's just a couple more caps I need to put on, And then I'm going to, yeah, we need a 0.1. I should have left that 10 microfarad cap out because I need another one. Almost there. Get the Pico on, get the antenna on, the RAM, and we can reflow it. So as much as I want to sell these, and you know, I'd love to get them out in the wild and whatever, like, oh, wow. This is still absolutely a learning thing for me. It's still a journey for me. Like, my purpose in all of this is to learn how to do it and to make it. Maybe I might make it look like I know what I'm doing, but you know, I don't think I do. Okay, RAM. Let's put it on this way. Let's get the RAM on. I think that's okay. Let's get the Pico on and then we'll put the antenna on. Okay, except I can't see what corner. Where's my orientation? There we go. Okay, let's not mess this bit up. This would be terrible if I mess this up. Right, where's my pin? 0, 0, 0. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. If it's not, I don't want to make, yeah. There's no, truth is there's no money to be made in any of this stuff that I'm doing. Doesn't matter what scale I sell them at. Nothing will really justify the amount of work involved. Right, just to be clear, that's not me, I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying, like, that's why I need to keep focusing on what I'm really trying to achieve with this, which is I'm trying to learn as much as I can as part of this process, because there might not be anything else in it for me. You know what I mean? There might not be a product here. There might not be anything viable. I just don't know. But what I do know is I never would have done this in the past. Thanks, Neffers. Like, I never would have taken this on. Just make sure this is a 1.5. Yes, it is. I should know this stuff off by heart now. I kind of do, but I just want to double check. You know, if I focus just on how I'm going to make money from it, then I wouldn't be attempting any of this stuff. Like, you know, who in their right mind spends $110 on some prototype PCBs for something that, you know, that may not happen. Yeah, I don't know, I'm just waffling. Yeah, we are very quick to compare prices to China. But that's okay, like, it's fine. I'm really going to try not to do that anymore. Like, I'm not even going to try to compete with China pricing. I can't. So I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to... Well, I still have to work out how I'm going to release the tiny Picos. I think they're definitely a viable board, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to sell many of them. Like, and that's okay. I guess it's okay. I have to be realistic. Have I got everything on? It looks like I do. I know it looks totally messy, and my microscope camera is a terrible camera, I have to say. Quite disappointed with this camera, the quality of color and stuff. But it looks really messy, but I think it's going to turn out fine. Yes, you all did get to come on the journey, which is awesome, and that's why I'm doing it live. both live, and that's why I'm being so open and honest about my journey. Oops. So this antenna is right on the edge of the board, in case you hadn't noticed. It's talk about close. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to make the board a fraction bigger. I'm pretty sure the design's going to end up being something like 16 by 22 or something, or 23, I think. Well, I know that, Gavin, you're not wrong. I mean, I think my journey of being a full-time maker is coming to a close in terms of I can't monetize it. I've been trying, but I just can't, and it's just being realistic. At some point I'm going to have to get a job, right? Sooner than later, unfortunately, and I think that, yeah, this stuff maybe works out as a good CV for me. I think, potentially. And that's what I'm hoping, is I've got no formal training in electronics, right? So it's not like I can walk up to a company with a university degree and a whole history of all the stuff I've done, but I can walk up with stuff like this, which, you know, you might not be able to tell by that bodgy pasting. Might be okay. So, yeah, the other reason I'm thinking that I might want to make the board bigger anyway is I might want to put a shield on it. And obviously, if I put a shield on it, the board's going to be quite a lot bigger. It's going to be closer to the Room 32 size, I think. But it's going to have PS RAM and it's going to have a voltage regulator on it. So it's not going to just be like a room replacement. It's going to be a full standalone microcontroller. So that's kind of important. Okay, we're going to reflow this. Not nervous at all. Not at all. I need a PCB. I don't know how I'm going to pick this up. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. How am I going to pick it up? I don't want to pick it up with my fingers. And wow, there's really no place to grab it from. This is going to be dangerous. How goes sales on the laser display? Not great so far, but you know, it's early days. Got it. Yes. Okay. So it's on some proto board. I'm about to put it in the oven. Please don't drop it. Please don't drop it. I hope I got everything on the right way. I don't know what's going to happen to the castellated edges, right? Hope they don't spark. Okay, it's in the oven. Worst case scenario, blows my oven up. I'm just going to switch to full C on while we do this. Tony Pico Nano now castellated for your pleasure. Now blown up for your pleasure. I hope what I spotted isn't important. What did you spot? Did I miss something? I spotted a missing component between the RAM and the... No, don't need it. That's a, it's a decoupling cap, but it's not needed. It's the same with on here. Oh, let me just switch back 1 second. Camera. It's the same as this one here. It's a decoupling cap here that isn't needed. I can put it on if I need to. Well, we had oven cam last week, kind of. Yeah. How many cameras do I need to get, Brian? You tell me, how many cameras do I need? Yeah. The pads are there just in case I need to add decoupling, just like a 10 nanofarad cap or something, but yeah. But I've left it off on purpose for now. We'll see what happens. It could come back and bite me in the backside. You never know. How's the stream going, by the way? 69 peak concurrent. I haven't hit my record. I think my record's 79. That's a shame. Doesn't really matter though. It's fine. By last week, do you mean this week? Oh yeah, this week. Last stream, I meant. Yeah, 2 streams in 1 week. Holy moly. It's pretty exciting. Now I need to do this one still. Oops. I don't know why I'm talking. Can't say it. I need to do this one. Because without this one, I can't even check the other one. But we'll do one at a time. Wow, it's already 8:21. Any of you that want to go to John Parks' stream at 9, feel free. Don't feel bad. I'm being honest. Like, yeah. I totally get that he's got a planned stream every Friday, or Friday my time. That happens from impurities in cleaning solution. I had a similar problem with some of my boards. I don't know, David. They said it was tin. I'm not sure. Like, it's really hard and thick to get. Like, it's not. I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll see what happens. It's going to come out looking good or bad. I don't know. Chris, well, I forgot to say I had need to use my reflow mask a couple of weeks ago. Worked a treat. Oh, cool. Awesome, Chris. I'm glad you finally got to use it. And I'm glad you're back making something. I know you've been super busy with work and stuff. It's good to see you back around again. Sound is faster than light. What? David, whatever that stuff is, I mean, we'll work it out. As I said, JLC PCB said that they're confident that they'll be able to make perfect boards next time. So, I guess so long as this works. Hang on, I'm going to put this away before I forget. Hope they are ones, 0.1s. I'm not going to start making the programming board until this comes out and I've tested it. Just letting everyone know. Okay. It's doing its reflow phase right now. It's about halfway through, just over halfway. So revealing my ignorance, what is good about MicroPython and what is a good way of getting started? Well, to answer your second one first, the getting started part, I guess it's a bit difficult. There's stacks of stuff online, and that's one thing I've been struggling with. I'm not spending really any time learning MicroPython right now, and I really want to. Can we see the pinout of the programming board? Yeah, hang on a second. I'll do an even better one. It's not designed to be compatible with anything else, just letting you all know, although that doesn't mean it won't work with other things. And there are other programmers on the market, but I wanted something very specific for this. Okay, it's about to, there you go, that's the programmer. Okay, I'm about to open the oven. Whew, nervous. Yeah, I want to see what happens around the cancellation as well. Really cheap vibrating electro toothbrush, about $5. Oh wow, that's a clever idea, David. So many moderators, yes. I was looking at that list the other day, but there's no one I really want to cull. It doesn't really matter how many moderators there are. Most of them have been picked not as moderators, but as just so people can post links. But I think anyone can post links now. Hello, Helmut. Ever examined the OSH chip based on the Cortex M0 32-bit processor with Bluetooth low energy? I haven't, no. I mean, obviously I play around with the M0 a lot with the SAMD21. But, okay, here we go. Just need it to drop below 80 degrees. Ooh, that smells shiny. Website.com is amazing MicroPython material. Well, they have CircuitPython material. CircuitPython and MicroPython aren't the same. They're close, but they're not the same. There's some fundamental differences between them, just to be warned. Okay, get off. Okay, let me switch back. Camera. Focus. Let me see if I can get that a bit further under. God, the lighting is terrible. Yeah, that cleaned up pretty well. Anyway, so yeah, so in learning MicroPython, there's a lot online, and the MicroPython people are spending a lot of time working on better documentation right now. What's so good about MicroPython? Well, MicroPython or CircuitPython, I guess it's just a much easier language to learn. It's and like I guess for the mainstream, and yes, it's kind of runs in a interpreted VM like from bytecode, so it's a little bit slower, although it's still pretty fast, and it's got some overhead because of that. It's just much nicer to work with. You're not stuck in C land. You're like, its string classes are just fantastic. Much easier code to read, except I don't like the whole white space, no curly bracket thing. I'm kind of used to curly brackets. But anyway, it's, yeah. I really want to get into MicroPython. It's just, you know, C is not, you know, so the problem is Arduino C. It's not C, it's not C++. It's a hybrid thing. So when people are learning to code in the Arduino IDE, they're not learning to code proper C or proper C++. They're, you know, and everything's a wrapper, which means everything, it's not overly fast. It's designed to be a one interface for all boards, which doesn't make it fantastic. So, and people just learn lazy or bad programming coding in the Arduino IDE, you know, in terms of learning standards for C and C++. Fliptronic pins. These standard flat pins. I'll have a look at what they are. I'll look a bit later. Anyway, that's my belief on MicroPython, and you know, it's, yeah, it's just another language, but it's actually a really nice language to work with. And from a microcontroller point of view, people are used to having to wade through a lot of, you know, C. And what's also cool is you can do inline assembly with it and all sorts of other stuff as well. Lazy bad programming. So you can definitely get to some low-level stuff. And ultimately, MicroPython is written in C. So, you know, it's yeah, anyway. So I think this is good. This is, let's have a, it's really hard to see with the light reflecting. I know, probably better here. So this little cap here looks like it's shifted a bit, the little one, but it's okay because they're both connected. So I think they're going to be okay. I might have just got them a bit close together, you know, as you do. It's just a 3-volt line. The grounds are separated. So the grounds are on this side, and there's 3-volt touching, so that's okay. Everything else looks good. I mean, I really wish there was better focus or better quality camera. Oh well. What else is there in the chat? Okay, so what we need to do, somehow I'm going to work out how I'm going to power it up. I just want to have a look at the, so the LED looks good. These castellated edges, no, see, none of the stuff cleaned out. All that white stuff still there, it looks like. See if I can clean some of it out. Has it made it even worse? Oh, there we go, so look at that. The burring is coming off. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know what happened to these boards. You just got your head around it. My fault for missing the beginning. What's the use case for this uber small teensy tiny Pico? Cap at top right, close to cancellation. Wait, top right? This one? Yeah, it is. It's all very close. But you got to remember, the idea is when you're soldering the cancellations, it's you're soldering here on the outside of the board. Right, you're not literally putting solder on that castellated bit. So, yeah, I know it's, yeah, and the angle doesn't help. I know it's very tight. Again, I just wanted to see how tight I could get it. So what's the use case? Well, it's a fully standalone microcontroller. It's got onboard 3.3 volt regulator. It's got voltage protection, back protection from, you know, if you're powering it from a battery pin, which I believe is this pin just here. You can feed it, you got 3 volts out, so you can run other stuff from that. You can use this on a board as a castellated module, but you can also just use it as a complete standalone. So Mr. did the board, power up, identify. Well, it won't identify because there's no serial on it, remember? But will it power up? Well, let's find out. Let's see what happens. We're going to give it 5 volts. I hope. I don't know. I'm not even sure how I'm going to... So giving it 5 volts should make the little LED light up. This is going to be... I don't know how I'm going to do this. We'll see. Okay, which is why I kept the header pins on this side. So what I need to do is just make sure I plug them into the right things. So ground is the bottom one. I don't even know if this will attach or not. No, it won't. How am I going to do this? I don't have banana plugs with... yeah, that won't work. So I don't even know how I'm going to power this up. Oh, I know what I can possibly do. This is a bit yuck, but... I should use nicer colours, but I don't have nicer colours. I have multimeter needle probes, but they don't plug into my power supply. It's okay. What I'm going to do is just put some jumper wires in. Power it off the multimeter? That's not going to work, is it? Not going to be enough power from that. Okay, so it's current limiting. Can I even get these in? I don't know if they'll fit. No, they won't fit, but I can at least get them. Cables to the PSU. My DMM cables won't connect to the PSU, I don't think. Oh, maybe. Hang on. Will they? Oh, they might. I've never even tried that before. Okay, 1 second. Wow. I didn't even know they were compatible. Let's find out if they're compatible. Because if they are, that'd be awesome. Holy moly, they're compatible. Thanks everyone, I did not know. Okay, now I have super sharp. So I'm going to turn my power on. Oh, I turned it off. Well done, sound. Okay. So the bottom pin is ground, right? The bottom pin here is ground and the top one is power. And if it works, this LED should come on, assuming I got it the right way around. I don't know how I'm going to get my hands in the way. Okay, 1. Here we go, no pressure, blue smoke time. Whoa, okay, that wasn't good. That was pulling 500 microamps, 500 milliamps straight away. So I wonder if I have a short. That's why you use a power supply first, folks. Current limiting power supply. So we might have a dead board. Let's find out. I know I'm doing all this through my microscope. Sorry, not much I can do right now. Let's just check that there's no grounds. I'm beeping it. Yeah, I'm going to beep it now. No, I never beep first. Beep after. Wow. There's a short somewhere, for sure. Yeah, I see the bridge too. Where do you see the bridge? Top right. Wait, hang on. This way, top right, or the other way, top right? Is it this way, top? No, the other way. I was the other way around. So top right, there's a bridge. Short on the yeah, there might be a short on the cancellations. I have to be careful. Top right bridge. Oh, you mean on the Pico? Yeah, it looks like there's one on the Pico. 2 pins above the regulator on the massive IC. Yeah, the Pico. Yep, okay, could be. But that is not ground. They're just I/O though. But I'm just looking for other ones. there might be one on the top there as God, if that's one next to the antenna, that's going to be a real pain to get to. Yeah, there might be one on the antenna side too. I might have to pull the antenna off. I'm going to have to pull the antenna off to clean this up. Oh well, we knew it was going to be fun, didn't we, folks? Okay, let's get the antenna off. Let's turn the oven off. Okay, did hit for short on the board before you populated it. Before I populated the board, I did actually check yesterday. I checked a board, but not necessarily the board that I built. But yeah, I did check one yesterday. Chris is going to charge his coffee. Okay. So, I have to get the antenna off. I don't know how I'm going to do this on camera. If it goes off camera, it just seems good on the top right, possibly bridging. No, that's just 3 volts touching each other. They're fine. I'm going to do my best to try to keep this on camera. I need to get the antenna off so I can fix those sides. Should be fun. Hopefully I can get the antenna off without ripping the board apart. Okay, antenna's off. Whew. So far so good. Okay. Gonna need some flux. We need the iron. Okay. What I should do is actually stick that on there. Maybe not. I don't particularly want to cool it down actually. I'd rather leave it warm. Okay, I need to have a look though. Where's my magnifying glass? Uh-oh, where's my magnifying? Oh, 1 second. Okay, I'm just having a look at yeah, 11 and 12 on that side, and yeah, it looks like they're 2 little shorts. Okay, so this should be fun. I don't know how I'm going to get my iron necessarily in there. Whoa, okay, that's a little bit too much flux. Damn. Okay, we have a lot of flux. I might have hit that a bit too hard. Just need to get my iron tip tinned. Okay, let's go. See you later, Gavin. Thanks for joining. See if I can do this without touching the matching network. Okay, that's one. Okay. Woohoo. Steady hand. Wow, dirty tip. See if I can get in there. I don't know if I can get in. It's going to be a bit difficult. Okay, what I might do... Okay, that looks good, I think. Yeah, those two components touching are fine. They're both just touching the 5 volt. Sorry, the 3.3 volt. They're connected. That's why they kind of shifted. Okay. Not nervous at all, guys. Might just run. Why is it not even... Clean that edge up as well. Okay, looking good. So what we should do, before I put the antenna back on, we'll try it again. Let's try continuity now. That might not have fixed it, by the way. That might not be the only issue. Okay. Yeah, there's another bridge somewhere. Damn. And it could actually be a manufacturing issue, by the way. So it might be a board issue. So let's try a different board. I mean, if I buzz this out and this is stuffed, then we know that... Ah, there we go. It's a board issue. Oh, no. Well, there we go. It's an issue on the board. After all that. Yes, I should have checked it first. Interestingly, I buzzed out another board. Which one did I buzz? Oh, no, I didn't. You know what I buzzed out? I buzzed out the castellated edges. Wait. So when I saw the castellated edges, I buzzed out the castellated edges. I didn't buzz out power. Yeah, so I checked the castellated edges, and what I needed to check really was, because of the plating issue, was whether they went front to back. Okay. So for instance, this one here, really hard to do, by the way. I needed to check. God, I can't even touch it. Anyway, doesn't matter. The yeah, I went through and I buzzed out the castellated edges to make sure that the front and back were working because of the burrs, right? Because if they weren't working front to back, can I find the short? Well, unless it's a design flaw, but I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if I can find a short. I mean, if they're all doing it, then it could actually be a design issue. No, see, that one's not. Or the back's not. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe I turned my thing off. Oh, that's why that wasn't working. God, I'm an idiot. Sometimes I'm an idiot. Okay, so let's try this one again. Yeah, if they're all got it, then they're all... So is it a design issue? Apply a lot of current. Blow it. You know, I don't even know. I have to go back to the design. Let's have a look at the board. Maybe someone can spot it on my design. It's possible. Wouldn't be the first time I made a mistake on a board. Let's just get rid of the back layer for the moment. Just start with the top. So we've got ground. It could be that these pads are too close together. I don't know. There could be some foil touching one or the other, but on every board, I don't know. I have aircon. It's turned off right now. It was on all morning. I was freezing before, Matt. Hey, Matt, guess what? Ready for this? Listen to this noise, Matt. All the boards have a short on them, even without stuff on them. So I built a board for nothing. Looks really cool though. I don't know if you saw it before. Here's my I took the antenna off. Here's a built board. Yay! But there's a short somewhere. Look at the castellated. Look at the edges. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's go back to the. I can make earrings out of them. Yes, I could make earrings out of them. So, ground. I wonder if let's turn all the layers on. Bottom. I'm just going to turn all the layers on just to make sure that there's nothing touching. Let's do a fill. Maybe they're too close. USB and ground. Or that, I mean, if they would, yeah, they're not too close because there's no DRC issue. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's lots of air wires. Right. So all the air wires that you see here, they're because Eagle doesn't understand how to connect the top and the bottom of the pads. Did I clean up the edges? No, I didn't clean up the edges before soldering. And it could absolutely be a short there somewhere. But on every board, Wait, what have we got here? Why is this ground? Oh, that's right. If I turn the ground layer off, right, so there's nothing there. Why is there no... That's the power. It's on its own plane, which is fine. U4. Much easier to view the Gerber files. Hey Roger. Yeah, there could be an edge of a board shorting. Like it looks like there's no space around these holes, which is interesting, like there is here. So it could be a fill issue. Clearance, distance. If I just do this for the moment, do an apply, check. Alright, a lot of dimension issues now, that's fine. So why is this, let me just, hang on, turn this off. Did you pull back the ground plane? Yeah, look, it could honestly just be, yeah, the ground plane's not pulled back from the edges, and the power plane not pulled back from the edges, which normally wouldn't be a problem, except, so the way JLC BCB do castellated edges is different from everyone else, and this is, I think, where I made a mistake, or where my DRC settings have failed. Normally you'd think that you'd stick a via with pads on each side, but they don't do that. They use pads with a hole, and it looks to me like the hole is not, for some reason, there's no, see the spacing around a via? It looks to me like for some reason there's no spacing around the holes. Okay, wow. I didn't pick that before I sent them off. Power up a blank board and look for smoke. I don't need to. I'm pretty sure we know what the problem is, Andy. I don't think cleaning off the burrs is going to help. I think in this case it's well, no, because let me just go back to here. I don't think so. I'll show you. Okay, let's go back to here. Sacrifice the board, grind all the castellations away and recheck. Yeah, I can do that. I absolutely could do that. But what I want to just show you is if I... Let's go from... I can't even see what I'm doing. Oh, interesting. Why is this one buzzing all up? I checked all these yesterday. Right, unless that's one particular board. As I said, I only checked one board, and I don't know which board it was that I checked. Yeah. Okay, well maybe I didn't check it properly. Maybe my multimeter wasn't even on buzzing mode. I don't know anymore. I have a Dremel. I can definitely get rid of them, although it's going to be really messy work. Okay, so it looks like these boards are just wrecked, and I should have checked them first. Well, you know, it wouldn't be a Sion stream if things worked first revision, right? Oh, that's really frustrating. That is really frustrating. Yeah, it's definitely these castellated edges, and I'd say it's the simple fact that all these planes haven't cleared themselves around here. Think you need a burger? Nah. They look cute. I gotta say, I'm quite happy with how it looks. I mean, now that the antenna's off. You know, they I guess I'm making some new ones. I need it, yeah. Oh, ho hum. Well, there's no point making the programmer right now, I guess. Bored. Hello, Rudy. Dead bored, Rudy. Did you see? Have you been watching and lurking? Damn. Damn. Oh, well. Well done. No. Not well done. Well done would be if it worked and it wasn't a dead board, but all my boards are wrecked. Doesn't CAD check. It does check, but yeah. No errors. You saw there was just air wires. Yeah. This is, as I said, these are pretty unconventional, the way these work. So I'm gonna have to, let's think about what I'm gonna have to do. Yes, the board is done. Just doesn't work, yeah. We're free, and Rev 2 will be free as well, yes, which is nice. Just more delays. If I do a rip up, oops, shit, don't want to rip up the whole thing. Rip up. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull these back quite far. Need them to go over. Just gonna make these smaller. Software can't check mechanical aspect of the piece. Not mechanical, but it should have picked this up for sure. This should have been a DRC error for sure, and I'm not sure why it wasn't. It absolutely should have been. I have to fix some traces for power. But that's probably what it should have been, something like this. Cut edge from the board, perhaps. It's a 4-layer board, yeah. I'd have to cut a lot of edges. There's not enough room to cut it, Rudy, just to, yeah. I think my tolerance is a little bit too tight to cut it off neatly without completely wrecking the board. Value is progress. Yeah, I'm disappointed, but like, you know, clearly this is on me or something. I don't know who it's on. They did double, so I got JLC PCB to check the cancellations before I did them. See, even here, look at this. So see how this around the VI is okay, but around here they're not. So that doesn't make any sense. There's no clearance here. Yeah, this is not a mechanical thing. And also, they did electro testing on this. They should have seen that the whole thing was short. The orange is... okay, there's 3 different layers. So let me just turn some off. So, red... the top layer for red is ground, because the top has to have ground on it for the antenna. And then there's another ground layer which I haven't shifted in yet. So this is layer 1, which is ground. I have to shift that in. That's layer 2, orange. And then obviously the bottom layer. So let me just shift these ones in as well. Continued on the same signal, so they would have seen that every single... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right, Dave. There have to be something like that. Can you share the Gerber files? Would be fun to check another PCB layout. I'll possibly share the Gerbers. I don't know yet. Probably not yet. I'll definitely have a look at the Gerbers later, but I'm pretty sure. See, look at the ground here. See, they are working correctly. See, they're going around these. So why are the... Oh, and the power ones are now. That is weird. Okay. Did everyone see that? Oh, now it's not. But a second ago it was. Look. Oh, okay. This is a bug in Eagle. No, the human error in the case of JLC PCB this time was the castellated edges and the mess that they left on them. Can everyone see this? Can everyone see that there's a gap now around those vias? Now have a look at this. Now there's no gap around the vias. Yep. Wow. Eagle. Yeah, I'll have to export and look at the vias. Look at the Gerbers once this is done. Like once I see that one's not again. But now they are. Wow. It's something to do with having multiple fill layers on. That's nasty. That's a nasty bug. Wow. Yeah, I'll check the Gerbers. What I'm changing now, I don't want it to be permanent. I mean, I need a version this board. I don't want to make these changes permanently to this board. Dead holes are not vias. Right. There's a lot of reasons potentially why the DRC isn't showing these as errors, David, which is what completely threw me. So, as I said, this is completely all new territory for me, and for, I guess, for JLC PCB. They've got a brand new machine. This is the first time they've done castellation on it. So what are the Gerbers you sent to JLC? I don't have them on my machine here. They're on my other machine, so I don't know. But I would assume they're wrong. I would assume that they are all touching. I would assume that they're all going to the very edge of the board and are touching these holes, the plated holes, which I think what the problem is. I'll have a look later. I literally, they're on my other machine. I don't have them. Wow. Oh boy. It seems to be any more than 9 layers. No, something to do with having the top layer. So I have the top layer on. Now let me just zoom back in again. No, if I turn the top layer off, if I have that on, it's fine. Even both of them. But if I turn the ground layer on, you see that? It wrecks it. The bottom layer, it wrecks it. Or the top layer. Oh, hang on. Why are there two different sizes? Wait. No. Maybe time to go to KiCad. No, thank you. Have a look. No, have a look at the annular size. It's not the ground plane. It's the annular that's changing. Look at the size of the annular here. Now, if I turn the bottom on, look at the size of the annular. How is that happening? And if I do the top layer, look at the annular. It's not the copper fill. Some Gerber files for his projects on GitHub. Yeah, anything I've got stacks of Gerber files on there on GitHub, but not from this. Yeah, I'm not releasing the Gerbers just from this yet. I know you all want to have a bit of a squeeze and have a look, but I think we're all pretty sure what the issue is here. This is really bizarre. I wonder if there's more than one. Let me just turn. How am I going to do this? No, there's only one set. Maybe I made a mistake in the footprint. Whoa, that's not right. Why are there two sets of wires? What's going on here? Do I not have the latest? I might not have the latest library on this machine. There's definitely only one each there. Why is it not showing my other pad? Yeah, something's funky here. That's not showing the right thing. I might not have the latest library here. No, don't save it. Call me dumb, internet, I don't mind, but when Scotty went round the labs, they had peeps looking at the files and possibly come out to prevent blatant issues. Yeah, so as I said, I had the JLC PCB engineers look at these boards, look at my Gerbers before I submitted the project, because like I had to custom make all of these cancellation components because they don't exist anywhere, and I needed them to check them to make sure that they were fine, and they double checked them and they said that they were fine in the Gerbers and that there was no problems. So clearly there was. Pads in the middle is a via. So in this particular case, Robson, there were pin headers here. I kept them in there because I wanted, in case I wanted to use a 1.27mm header as a programmer instead of the castellated edges. But otherwise, there are no vias, they're just holes, which is the way JLC PCB do them. They don't do them with vias. If I would have put vias here, it would have kicked in the DRC issues, I think, where the holes aren't. But if I would have done vias here, they would have rejected them. Does that make sense? Yeah, so there were engineers that definitely looked at my Gerbers beforehand. 100%. But no one picked up the ground plane issues, sorry, the copper fill issues from the ground and the VCC. So I mean, I can't put it on them because that should have been for me to pick up. But I've never done this before. I've never done castellated edges before, and this is not the way I would have done castellated edges. I mean, it's not the way PCB way do castellated edges. It's not the way that Osh Park do castellated edges. So, you know. And my original attempt before I sent this off to JLC PCB was I made them with vias like everyone else does. They did electric tests on the boards, but as Dave Darko mentioned, they probably only checked trace to trace, which would have worked. In this case, though, every trace is connected to every trace, pretty much. So it just would have picked up as a positive for them. The top of them and bottom are bigger, so you can solder onto them. As the middle is only as wide as a drill hole. So I don't understand what you mean. Sorry, Robson. Yeah, they should have tested more, I think, considering that this is the first time they were going through. Well, I don't know if my boards were the first boards they sent through their castellation process, but they literally only released the ability to say I want castellated edges last week, and they rushed it for my boards. Like it wasn't supposed to be out yet. There was even a bug on their website where once you turned it on castellations, you couldn't turn it off again. That's how new it was, and they put it on there specifically for my boards so I could submit these in. So it was definitely a learning curve on both sides. And JLC PCB have been great with this. I mean, they've been, you know, helping me get these boards into production. So I'm definitely not going to blame them for this. But it was definitely, it was both sides, definitely. Look at the link. Okay. What is this? Right, except no. You're wrong here, Robson. That's how normal castellation would work if it was a via, I would assume. But JLC PCBs aren't using vias to do this. They're doing this manually. They're using a hole, and then they're plating the whole hole with a special machine. Does that make sense? So normally if it was a via, yeah, you'd expect it to look like this. And it'd be done through the drilling and the via plating process. But they're not. These castellated edges are done differently. Which is why it's really thrown me, because DRC didn't pick up this issue. It just treated it as a hole. And because I'm super close to the edge of the board, my distance to hole was set to 0. Therefore, it just didn't put anything around the hole. There was no warnings that said, hang on, you're going to have things touching the hole. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, your picture is right. That would normally be the case if it was a via version, but it's not. This is what it should look like at the end, absolutely. But they're not doing it with a via. Hey Ben. And hello Ben's partner. What is Ben's partner's name? This has been a fun learning exercise. Oh well. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Hello Jess, nice to meet you. Okay, well at least I know where to go from here. I'm pretty confident my programming board's going to work. Where is my programmer board? Where's my programmer gone? Here it is. I'm pretty confident this will work because this is just a standard 2-layer board and I've built this circuitry 100 times. We should probably just, and it's not using castellated edges, and we should probe it out anyway just to make sure. But I'm glad I won't need to get these built again, I hope. Let's find out. Next order is free for Sion. Have just started production on the replacements. No, they were going to, but I said no. Wait, let me check the board first. So hello. Okay. No shorts here. Yay. Okay, so that's good. And is ground is connected and 5 volts is connected. Yes. Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't have. They offered to start production again on them to fix them, and I said no, just let's wait and see what happens on the video. And thankfully, I got them to wait because yeah, that would have been an absolute wastage. Yep. And contrary to popular belief, I don't like wasting stuff. You know, but I like learning. And boy, will I never make this mistake again. Let me tell you. And I saved a cap. Yeah. And I lost a Pico and some RAM. It's getting expensive. Keep the poker pin straight and avoiding solder bridges is going to be tough. Yes, it will. I agree. I definitely think I can do it. If you can see, there's a little holders there for the tip of the pins. It's going to be tough. The only way I can get around that is if I buy some new nozzles for my printer and swap them out and put a 0.2 mil nozzle on there so I can get the gaps small enough. But I still don't think it'll be small enough because the gap between the pins is going to be like 1.27 mil, which is smaller than the smallest nozzle I can get for my printer. So I don't think there's any way that I can build a jig that's going to be any better than this. I bet they need minimum distance between copper on the top. Well, they need a minimum distance between copper everywhere. I'm surprised they didn't pick it up, but then again, I didn't pick it up either, right? So about this laser, when? Well, apparently today my laser's coming. It's scheduled for today. I don't know when. Could use the scrap boards to mount through slots in a jig to create a channel. Castellations that are the exact pitch you need for... What? Could you use the scrap boards to mount through slots? What do you mean through slots? In a jig to create a channel. You mean holes going down vertically so I could stand them up? Something? So it would be this, can't even do it. So it'd be like, okay, I think I might need to plug my other camera in. So it would be like that. So I could have a stack of these, do you mean? Something with the holes through this way to hold the pins? Is that what you mean? In place? Maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I'd even drill the hole small enough. Is the I/O on the programming board shifted to 3.3 volts? No, the I/O on the programming board isn't shifted to 3.3 volts, but it doesn't need to be. So I/O 0 is coming from the Pico, going to the CP, or actually going to the twin NPN transistor, and so are the RX and the TX. And the RX and the TX are going to the CP2904 that has its own built-in 3.3 voltage regulator. So, and everything that's coming from the Pico is 3.3 volts. So this should work fine. This is pretty much just a separation, a line in the sand down here, down here, where these parts here are now on the programmer, and these parts here are on the Nano. I could look at doing a bunch vertically, Rob. I'd have to find a drill bit that can drill accurately this pogo size. So these are 1 mil thickness, or 1.03. I just ordered some new ones that are 0.7 thickness. So I'm hoping that if they're thinner, I might be able to at least get more of the tip locked into an end here, which might be able to hold them straighter, maybe, if that makes sense. Because the tips are 0.58 on the new ones that I'm getting, but I have to wait for them to come from China. So I couldn't find any at RS, not the thin ones. So yeah, it's just a waiting game now. Laser's coming on the reel today or on the DHL today? No. Okay, firstly, my DHL is normally fine. The issue with DHL for these boards was that they didn't leave JLC PCB till a day late. So that wasn't, DHL still delivered in 2 days for me, and they normally do. It's coming through toll, and they said that it's coming today. Like, it's all week, like it's in Melbourne. It's literally 45 minutes away from me, and I was in Melbourne yesterday. Proxon drill nicely and accommodate really small bits. Is Proxon a company? Is that a type of drill bit? I don't know. UI chip level shifts internally. It's powered by 5 volt, isn't it? The CP2104 is powered by 5 volt, but it's got a 3.3 volt regulator inside it. So, which is exactly how my Tiny Picos are powered. So yeah, it does its own 3.3 volt level shifting inside. It's one of the nice things about the CP2104. I mean, the CH340's also got a regulator inside. Most serial chips have regulators inside. So on my earlier revisions of my of my Tiny Pico, I was actually feeding the CP2104 from the 3.3 volt line and the 5 volt, and turning off the regulator inside, so that way I didn't need to regulate. But of course that meant that when the USB wasn't connected, the CP2104 was still running because it was getting 3.3 volts. So on my Rev 5 and obviously 6, I changed that, where it's running off the 5 volts only and the 3.3 volts is doing internal regulation. When there's no USB connected, there's no power at all to the CP2104. And that works fine on my Tiny Pico. Yes, the body of the Pogo is wider than your castellations. Yeah, the Pogo pins are the killer here, how wide they are, and then obviously being able to make anything that's thin enough to sit in between them to hold them still is the problem. Oh boy, wow. Well, I'm still excited. I'm still excited. I'm excited that it's that small. Oh, wait, you can't see that. Can I get a bit wider, maybe? Yeah, you can't. Sorry, I don't have enough camera space. That's the SP8266. Yeah, you can't see. See, look at their castellated edges, how nice and neat they are. And look at mine, they're terrible. Like that quality difference is just shocking. Also notice they're using non-standard pitch headers. They're using 1.5. So 0.15, no, 0.75? Interesting. Maybe I could have done 0.75. I would have had to make the board bigger. No problems, John. What Pogo pin size are you using? Yeah, they're 75. Oh. Yeah, I can't remember what their P value is, but as I said, they're 1.03 mil wide, and I think 0.7 something on the head, so it could be P75. But the new ones I've ordered are 78 mil wide, I think, 0.78 and 0.58 on the tip. I think they're P58 or whatever or P51 or something. What am I checking? Marcos? Should try making a gap between each pad on the Pogo pins. It makes it easier to solder. So what do you mean a gap? Well, there is a gap. There's actually, interestingly, I put some silk in between each one. And you can see at the very top there's a tiny bit of silk, but it just didn't print. I could make these pads a fraction narrower, but I'm trying to get these at 0.175 pitch, which is the same as what the Atmel ICE programming header is, the SWD header. I don't want to do an odd size pitch that I can't get header pins for. Proxon make mini tools for their bigger counterparts, drill press, lathe, model size. Okay, I'll have a look at Proxon, but I don't particularly want to buy a whole lot of equipment just to be able to drill some holes to be able to do the Pogo pins. I'll try with this, and if it doesn't work, then I don't know. Need to check the link. It's a gap in the center of the pad. Okay, I'm checking the link. Hang on. Checking. Oh, wait. Why is it not coming up? The page isn't loading. Is my stream still working? Yeah, stream's still working. Interesting. That page isn't coming up. Sorry, Marcos, it's just spinning. Waiting for blog. spitsemfail.org. Have you looked at the little connectors that are basically a group of pogo pins that already have the right spacing, etc.? Looked at the little connector. Yeah, but so I need my connectors to be this pitch. Oh, the page came up. Okay. Wow, that took a while. The pogo key at 1.27 mm AVR. Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't have the pitch for it. How can that possibly? Right, I see what you're saying. Each pad, yeah. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if JLC PCB can do that. If they could do a pad that's split in half, that thin. I mean, obviously they can because they 0.5-inch pitch they can do on the IC. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I can try doing that, I guess. So it sits in between the two pads. It's definitely a possibility. To answer Ben's question, so I'm not trying to, like, there are other programmers out there. I could have just used an off-the-shelf type programmer that was even a 0.27, like, you know, like what Marcos has pointed to, although I don't want an AVR programmer because obviously there's a very, this is not FTDI or AVR or anything else. This is just simulating like these two boards were connected, right? That's what it is. Like this is deliberately a design that isn't going to work as a programmer for anything else. And I did it on purpose because I needed it to be super tiny. I didn't want 2 rows of 3 pins. You know what I mean? Like I needed this to be able to be put as a module on a board, and someone could, you know, easily put like their own serial stuff on that board if they wanted to program it. So I didn't want it, like I needed it to be something that was fully compatible, that worked at, you know. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I might have to design my... I can definitely look at doing that if I can't get this working. I'd like not to have to redo these though, but we'll see. What's saying Chris? Yup. What's yup for? My cat Nissy says hello. Hello, Nissy. Meow. This kind of connector. Okay, I'm just looking. Hang on. Lots of people linking. Right angle. Interesting. I've not seen these before. So have you looked at how expensive they are, Ben? They're $8.34 for one. Is it one, or you get two pins? So I need 6. So I'm going to add $16 worth of BOM, am I? To this board to be able to put those pogo things on. I'm not quite sure. That's a good idea. Yeah. But okay, I could definitely look to see if there's anything else like that. Detail solution. Oh, 5-position spring piston connector. Right, I need 6. Interesting. Yeah, that's a 5. Still, it's $8. So I need a 6. Is there a 6? Either way, I mean, still, if it's going to be $8 or $10, it's, yeah, I need to find a cheaper solution, unfortunately. So the idea of having these as 2 separate things, by the way, is so they don't come together. I mean, I might sell them, assuming they even go into production of this, right? Big assumption. The idea would be that you could buy these together, but you buy these by themselves and you buy that by themselves. So you buy one of these once, and you buy many of these if you needed to program them. So the problem with the Tiny Pico, well, it's not a problem because it's by design, but is that you can't get this without the USB stuff. So if you're doing over the air with it, or it's programmed once and you don't need to program it again, well, all the serial stuff just becomes redundant on the board. Do those pogo pins fit in the holes? Yes, they do. Already checked that. Wait. When you say fit in the holes, right, you mean... Wait, am I on camera? Can I do it? There you go. Yep. Fit nicely in the hole. Perfect. That's using the spear tip. Whoop. Using the spear tip. The other ones also fit, but they're too wide on the head, so they're going to touch each other. I'm less disappointed than I thought I'd be. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too tired to be disappointed. I don't know. I'm less disappointed than I thought I was going to be. I didn't think they were going to work first time, but I hoped they were going to work first time. I thought the issue was going to be the castellations on the side, which they are an issue, but not because the castellations are stuffed, but because my copper fill is stuffed. Well, there you go. At least I know how to fix it, I think. Well, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. There's my Nano next to my tiny Pico that won't even fit on the camera. And sorry, I'm just checking to see if there's no way the courier would just leave it out the front. God, that'd be really bad, because it's just too big for me to carry myself. No, nothing from the courier. Good. So does the other end fit the holes on the programmer? So what do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. You're talking about these holes? Hang on. I did have a nice birthday. Thanks very much, Neffers. It was, you know what? I spent my whole day on my birthday laser cutting stuff for my displays. So you're talking about these holes that line up top and bottom? Yeah, they were left there in case I wanted to get a custom, well, not a custom, but get a programming header. Like one of these, but I mean, these are the ICE programming headers, so they're 2x5. But yeah, so the idea was that if I wanted to get a 1x6, yeah, this won't plug in because it's too close to the edge. But if I wanted to get a 1x6, and you know, maybe stick the pins out. Oops, can't see what I'm saying. Stick the pins out the bottom, so solder them from the top down. That I could also technically, if I couldn't get the pogo pins working, I could just plug that in like that on top, program it, and unplug it. And the reason I wanted to do that was, so if you think about it, if this was with the pogo pins, programming it like this, right, plugging it in programming is fine, but often I want to see serial output. And the only way to get serial output is with the USB connected, which means I'd need to plug it and hold it carefully while I'm working to be able to get output from it. So, you know, this is, it's definitely an interesting idea that is going to have some positives and some drawbacks in terms of its use. You know, being able to get serial output from this in the Arduino IDE or from a REPL, you know, or whatever. Like, also the other thing with MicroPython with this is if I want to just use a REPL, if I want to just type code in directly, whatever, then the USB needs to be connected permanently. Or permanently, like it needs to be connected, and I need two hands to work. So that's why I left the pin headers there, in case I wanted to plug it in that way, assuming I could even get 1x6. Haven't been able to find any 1x6, 1.27 mil. So this could all be an absolute waste of time still, but a great learning experience. Yes, it was my birthday on Wednesday. Who didn't? Pins the time laser cutting on account of a large order. Yeah, I might have, Rob. I might have had to replenish some stock. Yes, that's all good. Anyone else had problems with SMD resistors that won't take solder? No. So it basically saves an intermediary board. Yeah, well, this programmer saves having to mount this somewhere to use it. I mean, I guess in the future, maybe you'll be able to do things like a remote REPL or something to this for MicroPython to be able to get serial remotely. I don't know. I mean, I think if any of my designs has the potential of really taking off in a space outside the makerspace, it's this, right? Like, this isn't going to take off outside the makerspace. This is a maker board. And it's probably not even going to do great in the makerspace. I don't know. It may or may not. You know, I definitely think it'll do okay in the MicroPython space, but I don't know how big that is, to be honest. But this potentially, especially if it gets certified, has the potential of being a bit of a game changer in terms of just being able to plug this on to anything and not having to add power regulation or anything. Like, it's a fully encapsulated microcontroller with PSRAM. I think that's kind of potentially a big thing, but I need to solve so much about it still. At least you didn't discover your new boards were junk on your birthday. Yeah, that would have... I don't think that would have made any difference, mate. That's okay. Wow. Oh well. What you gonna do? Jason screwed them up too. You'd have to pay for the new fixed version. Well, that is also true. It could have been a lot worse. Station 240. It could have been absolutely a lot worse, without a doubt. And maybe that's why I guess I'm not so disappointed. So how many people have we lost to John Parks? I can't tell. I have no idea how many people are on the channel right now, on the stream. Does anyone know? Not that it really matters. Okay, folks, I think there's been enough. I think that could be it for today. Alan's here. That's the important thing. Maybe stupid question, but you know, do I ever speak to Dave? No. I've tried having this conversation with him on Twitter a few times. He never replies. I got nothing against Dave, but I don't know. He doesn't. Like, he seems friendly, but he doesn't seem friendly. I don't know. Doesn't seem to engage very well. Maybe he does on his forums. I don't know, but I just don't really have time to be sitting on his forums. So, I don't know. Yeah, I've never met Dave in person, so I can't really comment. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but he just doesn't really engage. Doesn't seem to really engage with other makers. Not that I've seen. Maybe I'm just not in the right space to talk to him. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to me. Who knows? Alan is honoured. I'm just happy that you even made it to the stream, mate. Ooh, 59. There's 59 people still. Wow. That is crazy. Yes, I am another year wiser. Oh, Neffers, don't be like that. We don't talk. Not nice. Well, okay. I'm not your parent. I'm not going to tell you what to say or what to do. But yeah. Oh. Wow, there's a really interesting glare on my face for some reason. Oi. Ah. Felix just turned up. What did you miss? Wow, Felix. I don't know if we're going to be able to even tell you. Why is... God, there's such a terrible webcam. So terrible. What can I tell you? I don't know, you're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, I might send him some boards through his mailbag, and maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm interested in getting my stuff ripped apart by him just for the sake of him pointing out that, I'm not an expert engineer. I guess, I don't know, I mean, I think there's plenty of other people I can send my boards to that I think will have a much more positive reaction to them. Andreas will definitely be getting a board or two from me. I'll definitely send a tiny pico to Mick from Mick Makes. I can't believe you're going to be going, Ben, to the Hardworks event. That's exciting. Get to meet in real life. Oh no. I hope I'm not disappointed. Yeah. Like, I feel like there's I know that Dave Jones did his video thing when he went away last year, and he got other makers, he showed other makers' videos on his channel, which was quite nice. But yeah, he just doesn't seem to be really that active or engaged with other makers. Not that I can see, anyway. But he's quite engaged with his community, and that's fine. So that's that's all he needs to do. Oh yeah, Looney. I'll send Looney a board or two. Yep, absolutely. I wonder where Looney is today. Oh, maybe he's moving. He could be moving. It was an exemplary comment that supports my thoughts. It's okay, Nefers. You're free to say whatever you want. All good. Dave's a nice guy, but all people have good and bad sides. Yeah, I mean, he seems like a nice guy. Like, don't get me wrong, he's done nothing wrong to me. He seems like a nice, friendly, happy guy. I guess, like, for me, like, I chat a lot with other makers, online. Dave Watts and Julian and Brian and Dave Darko and Chris Cochran, and there's a whole bunch here, right? We all, kind of, chat and help each other out and, try to engage with each other. We're all kind of on a journey together, a learning journey and a maker journey and a YouTube journey and stuff. And maybe Dave has a select bunch of people that he does that with. I don't know. He quite possibly might. But, I'm just not part of that group, which is totally fine. I don't have to be. Like, he doesn't have to include everyone. And that's okay. So I just can't really comment then. I mean, he jumped up and tried to help Fran out, which was great. Put a lot of video views and directed a lot of people to Fran when she was running her GoFundMe campaign, which is really nice of him. So yeah, he might be just a really nice guy. That's just too busy, as Roger said. Don't know how low power consumption and sleep rates on your priorities. This guy had some intense solutions. I'm pretty low down. I'll have a look, but I'm pretty low down with the power. Like my tiny Pico, when it's powered off 3.3 volts, is and the APA is disconnected, is pulling 15 microamps in deep sleep. So that's about as low as you can get on a Pico D4. So yeah, I'm definitely into my low power mode, but low power as a test is fairly useless. You got to look at all the other things that are being powered at the time. There's no point having a board that can go into really low power deep sleep, but when it wakes up, it chews power 3 times faster than it should because of all the stuff that gets turned on when it wakes up, right? So there's two sides of low power. One is getting the everything shut down when it needs to and getting longevity on the battery as long as possible, but the other one is not chewing your battery as soon as you wake it up. And to be honest with you, the ESP32s aren't fantastic for wake up because, especially if you're waking them up to wake up the Wi-Fi, turning the antennas on an ESP32, whether it's a Pico D4 or just what's inside the Room 32 or the Rover or whatever else, really draws the power. It chews a lot of power to wake it up. So, you might lose 2 weeks worth of sleep time on your battery just by waking it up once a day. So lots of things to look at, but I'll definitely have a look at that link, Gaston. I think Dave gets just annoyed about stuff he can't fix and has built up angst. If he can't sort, just reps on stuff. I don't know, possibly. I mean, yeah, he gets quite upset and uptight about a lot of stuff. He also gets a lot of shit directed at him, I guess, more than maybe a fair share, I think. Maybe that happens because of the way he is, his mannerisms and nature, I don't know. As I said, I don't know him. I only know him as well as anyone else does from his YouTube personality. he's definitely a very skeptical guy, which is nothing wrong with being skeptical. But I think you can be a little bit over skeptical, and that doesn't give you maybe the right amount of, ability to look at things maybe objectively, like in my mind, and this is just all fiction, right? Like I'm making all this up, totally making all this up. Is everyone clear? Right. In my mind, like if I was to send him a tiny Pico, like I think his reaction would be, why is this guy making another ESP32 board? That you can get them so cheap in China. Why would anyone bother? Like I think that would be his first reaction. And that doesn't help me at all. Like that's an easy argument to comment about, but not necessarily doesn't give the opportunity to look past that to see what's special about this, if that makes sense. But again, that's all in my head. The better sending one to the guy with the Swiss accent. Yeah, Andreas will be anyone. Yes. And I was actually thinking of sending him a Rev 6, but just so everyone knows, there is a Rev 7 board. I haven't sent it off yet. I am making a Rev 7, but just to be clear, the Rev 7 is the production boards. They're identical to the Rev 6, except they'll have an open source logo on the back. That's the only difference I'm making. The only change. Not that there's really any room for it, but there'll be an open source hardware logo on the back of the board, and that is the Rev 7 board. I just haven't decided if I'm going to make them 1mm thick yet, or leave them at 1.6. I was really hoping that this would be my test with 1mm, but clearly that's a fail. So I don't know. ESP32 ULP helps with long life from battery. Yeah, but ESP32 doesn't have fantastic ultra low power, to be clear. So like if you want to wake up an ESP32 from deep sleep using what's it called? Using peripherals like a sensor, then you're already not in deep sleep. Like you're already not the deepest sleep that the ESP32 can be in. Like you're sitting at, I think it's 100 or 150 microamps to have the peripherals running. Doing it on a timer is different. Leaving just the RTC timer running, you can get lower. But if you actually got peripherals on, so you want to wake it up with an I/O reading or something, then that's different. Plus you need power to the sensor. So, yeah, anyway, there's ESP32, if you look at like a SAMD, one of the SAMD chips, the ARM chips, like Cortex M0, they go way lower deep sleep, for instance, than an ESP32 does. But this stacks more inside an ESP32, I get that. So, like, we're not comparing apples and oranges. I'm just saying, like, if you want a Wi-Fi enabled microcontroller that can go into super deep sleep for a really long time, there are better options out there than the ESP32. Maybe not at the ESP32 price point, but there are definitely better options out there if you want something that can last years. Right? So that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the ESP32. It's fine, and and over time, especially, we're going to make better chips, and maybe they're for them it's about more power and more capabilities, and less about getting ultra low. Like the SAMD21 can go down to like nanoamps. I've had the SAMD21 go as low as 5 microamps asleep, and that was still, like, I'm sure there was stuff on my board that was still being powered that I didn't isolate. You can definitely go into nanoamps with a SAMD chip, or with a Cortex M0, for instance, and you just can't do that. Like, I think the lowest you can get is maybe 10 microamps on the ESP32. The lowest I've ever seen has been about 12 to 15. Yeah, I'll have a look at that, Gaston, for sure. And there are people trying to do stuff, and I guess technically, if you were playing with the Arduino IDF, you might be able to get the ESP32 even lower if you were literally messing about with registers and stuff inside and not just using the Arduino IDE. I'm sure there might be a way of getting it even lower, but you need to really be down to the metal. One of the best things with the ESP is the amount of usage support out there. Yeah, they're a fantastic chip, and the community is really driving it forward, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Sorry, I mean, clearly I'm I love them and I'm playing with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. All I'm saying is they're not the lowest powered chips out there for good reason. And so at some point you're just going to turn around and say, hey, you know, anything else I do to try to make this lower power is just diminishing returns. That's all. Like the only other thing I could do was to get that the new LDO working on here, to get low power. Like the LDO, this LDO is taking a bit more current than the other LDO would, but it requires another redesign and another board and another revision, and I just don't know if I really want to do that right now. And it also requires more passives going on the board, which means I need to make it bigger or something. So again, it's just not worth it. If you want to go really fast on a track, use an F1 car. If you want to get your shopping home for the supermarket, try something different. Sure. Wow. So are you saying that my Tiny Pico is a Formula 1 car? Is that what you're saying? Or is it the other way around? Is my Tiny Pico the family car, the station wagon? Is that what you're telling me? Thanks, mate. That makes me feel really good. Yeah. I'm excited to see what the next revision board is. The rumour is, it's kind of been confirmed, not confirmed, I don't know. The rumour is there's a new ESP chip coming out, maybe this year, that's got onboard USB. But it could be that it's a single core only chip because they're using the other core for software USB, don't know. If we can get the Tiny Pico with USB on board, and we can get rid of the serial chip and all the accompanying stuff needed for the serial chip and everything else, that would be a big step towards getting it lower power and getting obviously smaller boards or cooler boards or more efficient boards, assuming that they can get their USB stuff really good. I mean, the USB support on the SAMDs is awesome, like really, really good. I don't know if Espresso will be able to do that on a Revision 1 Silicon or Revision 0 Silicon, as they call it. I don't know. For me, I'm a proper numpty, and the support is awesome. A numpty. You're not a numpty, Neffers. I don't know what a numpty is, but it sounds derogatory, and you're not one. You're not one. Well, I don't think you're one. Anyway. So there it is. There we go. That was in the box. Now you know what was in the box. I thought there was going to be a bit of a disaster today, but I didn't think it was going to be this. Oh well. I hate to think how hot it is outside right now. I'm just going to open the door and check. Hang on. Whoa. Okay. I'll close the door really quick. That is disgusting outside. The right tool for the right... I know, Rob. I was just joking. Haven't you got my sense of humour yet? Or my lack of sense of humour? Oh, I keep looking at my board and you guys can't see what I'm looking at. I wish I had my other camera set up right now. Oh, where's my microscope over there? Looking at my iron. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy I actually managed to assemble it. Anytime a problem can be fully diagnosed, the solution found is a success. Sure, well I'm assuming that I've found the problem and I can fix it. I'm assuming. Hopefully it won't take revision 3 to find out. Talking about coming maker stuff, I saw the WS2850 some time ago and it was supposed to have a white LED. I don't know what the 2850 is. I believe that there's a WS2812S model that has lower power. I don't know. The Swedish newspaper reported that you have a heat wave down here. Right, reported, yes, we have a couple of really hot days. It was 36 yesterday, it's going to be 38 today. Well, if I keep sitting here long enough, station 240, it might turn up. Dig out the Dremel with a tiny bit, you may be happily surprised. Maybe. I mean, the problem is if I okay, well, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna save this. This is gonna be my memento, my revision 1 memento. Yeah, I'm gonna save it as for my collection. I'm not gonna hack this. But I'll try again on a Rev 2. I'm not going to bother on another Rev 1 because I want to keep every version I make. So if I destroy this, I'm going to need to make another one just for the journey. Plus, I want to put the antenna back on and I want to take a photo of it, which I didn't get to do. I didn't do before I pulled it apart. And I'll have a new laser to play with soon. You have also been... You talking about me? Tired and rambling? Or you? Yeah, I've been up since 4. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, that's you. You've been up since 4 too. What does the tiny Pico do? Hello, Kilo Sierra Alpha. Nano is supposed to be bigger than Pico. Is it? Now this is a nano version of the tiny Pico. It's not a tiny nano. It's a tiny Pico nano. So it's a smaller version of the tiny Pico. Does that make sense? What does the tiny Pico do? Does anyone else want to fill Kilo Sierra Alpha in? There's 2. This is the tiny Pico, which is a prototyping development board. ESP32, antenna, built-in battery management, USB, PS RAM on the bottom, extra 4 meg. It's actually an extra 8 meg, but right now it's 4 megs addressable, and a little RGB LED dot star, an APA 102 on the board. And then today I was building, and it doesn't work unfortunately, but it happens, my tiny Pico Nano, which is a tiny version of it, a nano version of it, onboard USB, an antenna that I ripped off on purpose. That's the antenna there. That's got onboard LDO, so it's a full microcontroller. These are both microcontrollers. ESP32 microcontrollers with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And I seem to be on a journey about how small can I make stuff. That's pretty small. By hand anyway. Now I've had a pick and place machine. Yeah, I don't even know if I could get a pick and place machine that could even do this, because like the grips on them are wider than this, like to actually just hold the board in place. It's so small that there's yes, these 2 little components are touching, but that's okay. You can see it's off the pad slightly. I can definitely space it apart. There's more room there. I can definitely give that a bit of breathing room. I can't take the 0603 any closer. Well, I don't want to. Or maybe a mil. But I can definitely get the 0402 further apart. Definitely. So that was another thing. It was also trying to work out, do I have my spacing correct? Have I given myself enough room to build it? You know, like that little resistor, that little cap just in here, would be quite hard to place. I'd have to place it before, obviously, the RAM and the Schottky diode. I'd put panels in there, sure, but then I don't even know how I'm going to panelize this. So I did a mock-up of how I'd panelize it, where I've got some mouse bites on this side, and just on the corner here and here. But the mouse bites that you normally see on a board are much wider than that, and I wouldn't be able to put it on this side. There's no, maybe on the corner here, I don't know. So I don't even know how I'd attach this steadily into a panel, because obviously you don't want to V-score them, right? So I don't know how I'm going to be able to attach this into a panel, to be honest with you. And it's going to be in a very expensive way to find out, because to make a panel of this and to then get them castellated and everything else, yeah, expensive process. So I definitely only want to go that route at the very end if I'm looking at production. I'm going to get it working first. Oh well, what you going to do? It was still fun. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. 3 hours. Remember me asking you a question? I asked about making things smaller and you replied with a why should I? And here we are. Yeah, when was this, Nefers? Because obviously I've had this in mind for quite a while. But I didn't want to spill any beans. You know, I wanted to do... Like, it would have been no fun if I said, oh, by the way, everyone, I'm going to design something smaller. Then there would have been no... What, 2 hours? I started at 7. It's 10 o'clock. That's 3. Can I not count? I think I can count. I hope I can count. I can't design boards, but I can count. Just feels like 3. Yeah. Why smaller? Because I started the challenge here. You know what I mean? Like this was my... Yeah, I don't know. Because why not? Because I can't think of anything else to make right now, to be honest with you. So does anyone want to know about the next board in the range? Do you want me to keep it secret so I can surprise everyone? Or do you want me to spill the beans? My stream says 2 hours, 59 and 55 seconds, 56, 7, 8, 9. Officially 3 hours right now. It's up to me if I want to spill the beans. I reckon everyone's gone now. It's gone way too quiet. Not everyone, there's a few people, but I'm pretty sure it's too quiet. Tiny Pico Nano Femto. Okay, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, I think, 99% sure, I'm not going to make a smaller board than this one. I want to ask you a more private question. What's the best way to get hold of you? You can follow me on Twitter and just DM me, or follow me and I'll follow you. We can chat on Twitter, or you can just go to my website, unexpectedmaker.com, and just send me a contact message and we can chat by email if you want, although I hate email. So yeah, Twitter DM is still at 50. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm surprised. Spill. Chris says spill. Nefer says up to me. Ben just made a guess, but no, it's not going to be smaller. Are you on Twitter, Roger? If you are, yeah, definitely maybe hit me up on there. Or we can start on Twitter anyway. PSRAM on the bottom to save more room. No, I definitely don't want to put on the bottom, because then how can you mount it to a board? What's the point of having castellated edges if there's hardware on the bottom? Yep. Waiting for him to make the picker with the pins under the MCU so the board the size of an IC. No, yeah, no. This is about as small as I want to get it. Like, okay, so here's the thing. So it's not a problem, but this already gets hot, right? So when I say when I say it's not a problem, there is a heat problem. It doesn't go out of spec, but this gets quite hot when it's running with when it's spamming Wi-Fi, for instance. Not when it's just running just general stuff, especially if you turn the antennas off if you don't need Wi-Fi. But this gets hot because there's no place for the heat to dissipate, right? I mean, the board's small, there's just not enough copper. I mean, there's copper internally, but it's just a really small board, right? So, yes, Unexpected Maker on Twitter. That's me. So I'm worried about how hot this is going to get. I mean, this might, heat on this board just might be a killer for the board anyway. Like, it just might not happen. The Picos get very hot. For tiny compact sock assembly, do you remember to have a look at OSH chip 16-pin? I'll have a look. I'll definitely have a look. I promise, Helen, I'll have a look. So yeah, I don't even know what's going to happen with this in terms of heat. It might just literally burn. You should add a pad area on the back side for heat when someone could use a motherboard for heat transfer. Well, they're already... Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. A big pad on the back is potentially a problem on this. But possibly, and it still might not be enough. But yeah, it's possible. Hey, any moderators? Anyone want to jump in on that one? If any moderators still here? Or maybe I'll do it now. Put user in timeout. Sorry, I'm just doing this live. Oh, they're gone. Okay, there we go. Aluminium board. That's only going to increase my cost by a bit. What was I going to say? I missed what I was going to say. I've forgotten. What about a slim copper heatsink? Well, probably slim wouldn't be smaller, it wouldn't be big enough. I have considered, it'd be a shame, but here's a little heatsink that I've got. It's actually a Raspberry Pi heatsink. So I've actually considered shipping a tiny Pico, with a heatsink. It's a bit tall, and I don't know what it would do to the Wi-Fi, which is a bit of a problem. And I haven't found this size that's shorter, and I'm not sure. I mean, obviously the shorter it goes, the less effective it's going to be. It'd be a damn shame if I had to ship a heatsink with a tiny Pico, I think. Christos has been pushing me to do it. So as I said, the chip doesn't go out of spec. Like, it's fine. The chip is rated to up to 85 degrees, which is pretty damn hot, right? So, you know, it gets hot enough that it's uncomfortable to touch, but it's not out of spec. And all the other ones, like my Pico kit, also gets hot, not as hot, but the board, I mean, you're not even going to be able to see it. Where is it? Where did I put my Pico kit? Oh, there it is. I think I need a... Yes, you're not going to be able to see it, but just in terms of scale, I mean, the board's massive, right? I mean, look how long it is, right? And how wide it is. I mean, the tiny Pico is less wide by one row header. And it's like, how many lengths? It's almost twice as long. So there's heaps more place for heat to dissipate. Plus it's got header pins in it. So heat's coming off the header pins. So like when I measure the temperature of the tiny Pico running, not only does the chip get hot, but because of the ground and power planes inside the board taking a lot of the heat, if you stick the temp probe on the ground pins or on the power pins, they're hot, because that's where the heat's coming out of. Where look at all the metal on this for heat to transfer out of. You know, there's a big advantages to having a bigger board. Just saying. A simple heat pad like they use on a GPOS and a slim strip of aluminium will cure the heat. Yeah, not really, Nefers. It might help a little bit, but I won't fix it for sure, because there's not a big enough area to transfer the heat off. So yeah, and of course, you know, you could do a bigger heat sink that goes over all the chips. Actually might even have I mean, that's a little bit too big. You won't be able to get the header pins on. That's pretty funny. Chat lag, okay. What did Ben say? Are there RF shields that double down as heat dissipators? Could be a good solution, especially from certification. Sure, well, so the problem with these shields is they do two things. They trap the heat in, which isn't great. Because they don't directly touch the chip, there's not a lot of thermal contact, so they make it look like there's less heat, but they also trap heat in. So, you know, it's one of the reasons why there's a little hole here, I think, to let some heat out. I could be wrong, but I think that's what that's there for. Really stupid suggestion, could you incorporate the Wi-Fi antenna as a heatsink? Well, the Wi-Fi antenna is a heatsink on here. The Wi-Fi antenna is connected to ground, which is there's a top ground plane and a middle ground plane, so that there's heat coming off this. Oh, did you mean that, hang on. Or did you mean, is that what you meant, Nefers, or did you mean using the heatsink as an antenna? I don't know. Yeah, double-sided tape plus sheet of aluminium. Where do I put the double-sided tape and aluminium, out of curiosity? How long before CEO notices the chat is paused? No, I did notice. There was just nothing coming through. I was trying to scroll it just before. I'm not sure if you saw me trying to scroll it. Is this just lag? Is something going on with the chat? It says there's no lag here. Health is good. I've got no drop frames. Wow, it moves on the stream, but laggy. Yeah, okay. Sorry about the lag. I don't know what that's about. It says it's streaming okay. YouTube says it's streaming okay. Anyway. But again, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's a problem or not. It's definitely hotter than what I've experienced on other boards, but it's also, I don't have a board this small with a ESP32 on it that I can check. So, you know, like, I know when this is the TT Go, I know that this doesn't get overly hot. I mean, it gets hot, but not as hot as mine. But look at the size of the ground plane. Look at the size of the board. I mean, my tiny Pico is just almost as, like, as long as it is how wide this board is, almost. This board's massive, so look at all the places the heat's got to go. And that's the thing, there's just no place for the heat to go in here. It's just a size of the board thing. Looks like our chat is really laggy. I'm sorry to hear that there's lots of lag. Maybe it's time to call it then. Maybe that's someone saying, "Hey, enough's enough." See you, Alan. I'll chat with you later. Hope you're feeling better. So that's it, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna fix these boards today. Well, I'm gonna try to fix them. See if I can. I might have to make them a fraction bigger. Anyway, I'm gonna see what I can do. What? 5-minute lag? No. Okay, I don't know why there's such lag. I'm sorry. Could be the internet's down. Anyway, I'm going to try to fix this board today and see if I can send off and get a new one made. I'll also have a think. Before I do that though, I'll have a think about this programming header. Maybe I can't really get rid of the cancellations on it. I don't know. Anyway. Well, David's got no lag. 10-second lag. Oh, maybe it's fixed itself. I don't know. Well, then we can keep chatting then. Chatting. Wow, I can't even talk. Blame critics. Sure. We're going to blame politicians. Did everyone hear about the encryption bill that just got passed in Australia by our stupid, dumb politicians? Did everyone hear about that? If you didn't, you should look it up. It's pretty interesting. Basically the police, the federal police, anyone can force any individual or any company to assist them in decrypting any data they want at any time on any platform. So if you work at a software company and you have a chat platform and it's encrypted, you have to, and they come to you and say, you could just be you just work there, right? It's not your company. And they come to you and say, you will assist us in cracking this encryption so we can get this data. And you say no, it's up to 5 years jail for saying no, because you're hindering the police investigation or whatever. It is the stupidest law ever passed. Doesn't matter. You cannot use the excuse, I'm sorry, that's not possible. That's what they're trying to get around. So right now their barrier is, oh sorry, that's not possible because we don't have the keys. And the police say that's an obstruction of justice by saying that. So now they've passed a law that says if you say that, even if it's true, you can go to jail for 5 years. That rather than saying, I'm sorry, there is no key to decrypt this, we don't physically have a key to do this, you must say, okay, let's work together to decrypt this. And then you actually need to go and try to work with them to decrypt it. The law is insanely stupid. Our politicians have no idea about technology at all. Doesn't matter what it is. If they walk up,
if there's a company here in Australia utilising WhatsApp for communications, and the police think that there's a reason that they want to find out what you've been saying, if you do not help them, give them the information, you go to jail for up to 5 years. They don't understand how technology works. They're absolute idiots. You heard that first here, not first. Our politicians are idiots. They're clueless. What they've basically done is completely shot the software industry in Australia in the head, not in the foot, in the head. You know, like most countries around the world now won't deal with China anymore, like in terms of software, because they're worried about spying and surveillance, right? No one's going to trust any Australian companies either. If no one's going to buy software or utilise any software that comes from Australia, when the government at any moment can grab your data whenever they want. Like, it's just ridiculous. I don't know what the penalty for companies are. I didn't look that far. So, what does Ev say? Hello, Ev. It's probably not as dumb as the block porn website's law. We've already got the block porn website. We've got that already here. So, Roadshow Video and... Here's the other one. Whoever has been crying about piracy and stuff, like, with movies and stuff, we've already got the block torrents law and block porn and all that stuff here already. This is just the next step of stupidity. Anyway, sorry, that was my rant. What if the encryption is made by a non-Aussie company? I don't know. All I know is it's ridiculous. The police at any time can turn around and tell you that you're obstructing justice, and they can put you in jail if you don't comply and if you don't work with them. Yeah, if the whole just government shouldn't get. Like, I understand what some governments are trying to do about protection, but this whole, they can't protect the Australian borders from terrorists and stuff without this access is just crap. It's just crap. It's just an invasion of privacy. It's just terrible. It's just yeah, companies just going to leave. They're just going to push Australian software companies offshore. It's going to hurt the industry here. It's going to just make other countries not trust us. It's going to make other countries just not want to use our technologies, and it's just really sad. It's very short-sighted. Our government, very short-sighted, and they don't even know what they're doing. And their argument is that, just like their argument with they forced ISPs to be able to record all of our usage data, right? And the argument was it's only going to get used by the federal police in case of blah, 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 right? Well, that's rubbish, because already every government agency in Australia has been requesting data from ISPs for various reasons. Like, once the law is in place, there's no control over who's going to abuse the law. It's just crazy. Yeah, if you got terrorists who fire missiles, but they do a lot worse than firing missiles, and they do stuff in the open. They do stuff behind the scenes as well. Like, I really don't like, if anywhere it needs it, Israel need it. Like, Australia, this is ridiculous. Anyway, folks, that's it. That's my rant. I'm going to stop with the rant now. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Thanks for an awesome stream and chat. I'm very sorry that my boards didn't work. I feel like I let you all down. My little nano pico, look how small it is. It's as small as my eye. My little tiny pico nano. I promise I'll get a working version of it, even if I never do anything with it. Even if I only ever make 1 or 2 working ones, I'll give one to Matt, one to me. But I will get one working at some point, and hopefully the copper planes was the issue that you all pointed out quite cleverly, which I missed. Thank you all for that. Yeah, have a lovely weekend, everyone. Hopefully my laser cutter will turn up. Yeah, I think I might have to video that. I don't know how I'm going to video the laser cutter experience. I don't even know if I want to open it today, but I can't just leave it outside in the heat. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to need some help opening it, I think, and moving it. But, yeah, thank you all. I'm glad you enjoyed the little journey. And oh, what was the other reveal, Ben? What did I miss? What did I miss? Quick, tell me, tell me. Have a reveal say. What did I miss? Who else? Oh, look. I assume it's someone I've subscribed to as well. I hope so. If not, I'll be disappointed. Let me know what I missed. Come on. But anyway, bye all. Thanks. Ah, Christos is still here, lurking. Okay. No BGAs, mate. No BGAs. No BGA. Say no to BGA. Story Diver is announcing a secret project today. I don't even know who Story Diver is. I'll have to check it out. Okay. Anyway, bye folks. Thanks again. Have a lovely weekend. Bye. Okay.